What about this?
What about that? What about that? What about that? What about that? What about this? What about this? What about this?
What about this?
What about that? What about that? What about that? What about that? What about this? What about this? What about this?
What about that? What about this?
What about that? What about that? What about that? What about that? What about this? What about this? What about this?
What about that? What about this?
What about that? What about that? What about that? What about that? What about this? What about this? What about this?
What about that? What about this?
What about that? What about that? What about that? What about that? What about this? What about this? What about this?
What about this?
What about that? What about that? What about that? What about that? What about that?
Oh, my bad, y'all. I had my goddamn microphone turned off. Good look on that, lady. Nice. Like no audio. Well, that I'm back. I guess I have to do all of that all over again. Bespoke. Welcome back to another edition of the Proper Thought Series right here on the old T.P.O.T YouTube page. I'm your host, X, of course, but you knew that already. That's why your black asses are here. Tonight, Tonight, on another edition of What About, we'll be asking, what about ITL, Insuring the Lives? Because y'all know the What About series is a new series on T.P.O.T. where we ask the question, what about? And we tell some secrets that people probably don't want us to tell, but we're going to tell them anyway. That's what this series is about, folk. But before we get started, and I'm supposed to have a guest on tonight too, y'all. I did promise y'all last week that the next What About we'll have a guest on, and I'm going to try to pull that off tonight. But y'all know before we get started, I always start the stream off with thanking you good folks, man, for your likes, your shares, your views, your subs, and of course, your hard-earned pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, and 50-cent pieces. Because I realize you don't have to do it, man. You don't have to watch these damn videos. You don't have to show up to these streams. You don't have to like, share, or sub. And you definitely don't have to drop your hard-earned coins on this platform. But night after night, week after week, man, you good folk choose to do so. I don't take you lightly, man. I never have, and I never will. You got my word on that. I'm humbled. I'm honored. I'm thankful. I'm appreciative of all you good folks, man, and all that you do. That goes for the good folks who hang out there and the good folks who hang out up in here. All right. All right. So let me go ahead and send my guests the link just in case they are still going to come on. Go ahead and do that. But tonight, we discuss insuring the lives. And what does that mean, right? What does it mean, insuring the lives, right? Like I said last week, you got a family, y'all sitting around and y'all happy and you got your kids and you love your wife and your wife loves you and life is just great, right? Life is great. But out of nowhere, something happens. Someone dies. The next thing you know, your family's doing this. Now, I know that seems like I'm vacillating between two extremes, but what COVID has taught us that, one of your family members can be gone like that. All right. You look up and they're gone. And you look up and they're gone and you have no way to pay for their funeral. Take it from me, over the course of my adult life, I have paid for funerals. I have helped pay for funerals because people didn't have the money or they didn't have life insurance. They didn't have the resources. My wife and myself, man, we have chipped in on quite a few burials and funerals over the course of many, many years. Probably to the tune of almost $30,000 we're in, just helping folks out with funeral expenses or paying for it completely. All right, over the course of time. And you do it because, you don't want people to suffer. You don't want them to have to take out a GoFundMe. We're going to talk about that later as well. But yeah, man, you don't, you want to look out for folks. Their grandmama done died, their mama done died, their father done died, their grandfather done died, their uncle done died, their brother done died. So, that's not really the time to be like, God damn, man, why didn't y'all have life insurance? But the time is now, okay? After that, because I would like to think that these people who get this help to bury loved ones, to have a funeral, finally start thinking about getting life insurance. If not for their aging mother or grandmother, for themselves, for their children, right? Because think about it. I mean, if you're a person, right, and say you have children, all right, especially if you have children and you're living around a bunch of BS, you probably want to have life insurance, all right, especially if they're living with you. I know when I was a kid, my dad, he had life insurance on me and my little sister all the way up until the time we were 21. And once we became 21, we had the option to, continue it. Of course, I didn't. All right. Of course, I didn't. I mean, I didn't start buying life insurance till I was 40. Yeah, 40. Luckily, nothing happened to my ass up until 40, you know, because what would have happened? If something would have happened to me, it would have left a burden on my wife, on my offspring. It would have left a burden on them, if they couldn't well, they would have had the money to bury me anyway, but what if they didn't? What if they didn't have the money to put my ass in the ground and I would have died? That would have been an expense that I left to them. I left an expense to them, and that could have been avoided. I remember when my parents died. I mean, when my parents died, man, they had life insurance. So, no one had to scrape and scrap. We didn't have to uh, create a GoFundMe and all this kind of foolishness, which I just think is unreal. Okay. Someone in your family dies, right? Whether it be your son, daughter, mother, father, whoever. And now you're up on GoFundMe talking about, we need X amount of dollars, to give this person a funeral. And usually the person died like 2 months ago, but the GoFundMe is still up and still raising money. The person died 60 days ago. The GoFundMe is still up. All right. The GoFundMe is still up. That's what I'm talking about, man. It's like we wait until something like this happens and we try to benefit off of it, because you see GoFundMe's up for like $50,000. Now, don't get me wrong. Funerals are expensive. I know I paid for quite a few of them. But they're not 50, 60, $70,000 unless, you got some extravagant, funeral going on. All right. It's not going to be that much money. But the problem is this, and I've said this before. Many of us in Black society don't believe we're ever going to get old. We don't believe our children are ever going to grow up. At least we act as if none of that's going to happen. So when you don't have life insurance, if not life insurance on your kid, life insurance on yourself, what you're basically saying is when I die, y'all just figure it out. Y'all just come up with the money. Y'all just go ahead and create a GoFundMe. That's basically what you're saying. All right. That's basically what you're saying. And me, I hate that I didn't catch on to the life insurance thing until I was like 40. All right. Until I was like 40. Because guess what? If something had happened to me before then, man, I would have left my family burdened, you know, because it's not just them being burdened with your funeral, your burial, and all that kind of stuff. They're burdened now because whatever income you brought into the house is now gone. Right. And your family relies on that because your income pays the mortgage, your income pays the lights, it pays the water, it buys the food, it pays the car notes, it pays the insurance on the cars, it pays the insurance on the house. Your income pays for all of that. So if you die, that's it. All that's gone. You're going to be living off of whatever savings is left, and then that's it. So many of us as Black folks, I think we took a greater interest in life insurance with this COVID-19 thing. All right. We took a greater interest in life insurance during that time. But before that time, man, we weren't too keen on life insurance, man. You know, like I said, you see it. You see these people whenever somebody gets shot and dead in the street. They got a GoFundMe. GoFundMe is now the new life insurance policy for some reason. You know, you didn't think about it before, but you think about it now. Now that the person is dead, now you think about dealing with their final expenses. But we all know that the GoFundMe thing is just a hustle anyway. You know, we'll probably get into that later. But I think it's wise for you to have life insurance, you know, especially once you get a certain age. You should have life insurance. And the thing is, a lot of us don't. We don't. We don't think about it. We don't think about it. Because I know me, I didn't think about it till I was 40. We don't think about life insurance. We don't think something could possibly happen to us. We're going to live forever. We're going to live forever. Just like we can get out here and buy all this BS and buy all this nonsense for the house and all these clothes and all that kind of shit. We should be putting some money to the side for life insurance. And the crazy thing is, like I said, number one, it's not that expensive. And number two, you never know what's going to happen, man. You're never going to know what's going on. So it's best to be prepared. Your ass die in a car accident. Anything. Fall off a bridge. Get shot. Anything can happen. Life insurance is important. It is. Life insurance is important. And if you live in one of those places where they shooting folks dead by the dozen, you probably should have some life insurance on your children too. Especially if they're out there. You got sons and daughters who are about them streets. You probably should put a life insurance policy on them. I think the reason why we don't like life insurance is because it forces us to think about death. Even though black people, some of us, we like to talk about death a lot. But I don't think we really consider it. We don't want to think about it. We don't want to think about we might be dead one day. I think that's what keeps us from getting life insurance. But my guest has arrived. Bring them up. The one and only Big Mag the Fisher is here. What's good with it, brother?
Hey, people, how's everybody doing today? How's everything, man?
Yeah, man. Everything's great, man. I wanted you to come up because you told me that you used to sell life insurance before.
Yeah. Yes.
Do you find that black people are reluctant to buy it?
Yes, I do. I think and just listen to what you're just saying. You said you feel that people don't get it because let me say this. What I found in my informal census while being in the industry and selling it, people don't want someone to capitalize off their death. They feel that, why am I going to pay for something that I'm not going to use? They see it as a waste of money because, fuck, I'll be dead and gone. So what does it matter to me? Now, in saying that, I also want to say that what people don't realize, and we've all seen this, somebody has seen this, where you got to pass the hat when somebody passes away. Funerals can cost between $5,000 and $10,000 depending on where you're getting buried. Not only the funeral expenses, but the auxiliary costs of you not being your ass here. You know, you may have a mother who depending on your money to pay some rent. You know what I mean? Or you may have a spouse or a significant other. You may have children. And when you gone, the next few months, years, or whatever the situation is, how are they going to get along? What are they going to do? You know, I think that people take solace in deciding, having making that decision that I'll be dead. Why do I give a damn? And it's not fair. It's not fair.
Yeah, I'd have to agree, man. I think that's it's one thing, right? If you live alone, right? You live by yourself, you don't really have no one to worry about, somebody will just find your body dead, inside your apartment or whatever the case may be. But if you have family, if you have people that you are responsible for, I mean, you don't want to burden them with whatever you got going on, man. Once you're dead, that's it. They have to deal with everything, man. They have to deal with whatever debt you may have out there. They have to deal with the cost of your funeral. They have to deal with the fact that, your income is no longer going to be coming in. Um, because I know the life insurance policy that I have, right? The life insurance policy I have is $150,000. But if I get killed at work in a work accident, it goes up to a half a million.
Mm, mm.
Um, yeah, if I get ran over by a skid steer or my head get chopped off, by a bulldozer, then it goes up to
Yeah,
half a million.
yes, you have you have a life insurance policy with accidental death and
Mhm.
dismembership, accidental death
Yes.
and dismembership riders.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
they can be
Yes.
two separate policies as well. Like you hear about these companies, Aflac and General and all these other companies, they can do the accidental policies as well. But
Mhm.
to say something to what you're saying to answer the question, it's not that they have to deal with your financial absence as well as your physical absence, but how are they going to deal with your absence? Like this is something that I've learned, and this was taught to me by my manager when I was active back then. She said, you have to understand these people don't realize that, like, you take a typical husband. What is his wife gonna have to do to make sure that mortgage or rent is paid? What type of man does she have to catch up with in desperation that's going to be around your young daughter and your sons?
Mhm.
See, people don't think about that. This is what I always put the men when I sat with the men. Do you want your wife to marry for love or necessity if you die tomorrow? Like we as a people, we know that the marriages aren't all they out there. We ain't got these marriages. We got kids and we got partnerships. We single people who own houses and all this other stuff. But what I would like to touch on, let's touch on some of the different instances where I feel you would need insurance as a person who has a few policies and a person who sold it. But first, let me say my disclaimer. I am no longer active. So what I'm saying to you is that I was in the industry selling life insurance, mutual funds, and investments for 6.5 years. So even though I have a breadth of knowledge on insurance, right now I am not an insurance professional. So my opinion on what type of insurance you should get and what you need should be left to a current day professional. If everybody understands that, you need to sit down with an insurance agent who is operating today in the present to find out what your specific needs are and what the prices are going to be. So that's my disclaimer. So the different types of instances I think people need insurance for: one, whether you're married or not, if you are a property owner, think about this. If you have nieces, nephews, brothers or sisters, if you have a house or something like that, do you figure you don't want the government to just swoop in and liquidate it? You should buy a policy to take care of the transfer taxes or the remainder of the mortgage so that your niece or your nephew who's going to be on the will or the house is going to go to, who works at McDonald's, doesn't have to, rob a bank to pay for those taxes. Because if it's not a child, your natural child, or by adoption, there's going to be transfer taxes on that property because the government ain't let you get in the way with signing the house over when you die to somebody. You got to go through probate. Government want their taxes. City, state, and federal government want their taxes. No, I don't think there's no federal probate. I'm not sure, but I can't remember. But the state want their taxes. So if you are a single person, woman or man, and you got nieces and nephews, you're going to leave your house too, there's transfer taxes. So you should have a policy that should cover at least the remainder of the mortgage or the amount you assume to be the transfer taxes. And that's a good question that you'd have for your tax preparer every year. What do you think transfer tax would be if I were to die and this house was left to my niece and nephew? You would also want to have if you, especially if you have if you have dependent children, whether or not they live with you, whether it's a baby mama or a baby daddy situation, the kids are over there or the kids are with you. If you have children who are dependent on your income, you must buy a life insurance policy. Why? Because if something happened to you, you don't want your kids staying with Bone Quisha mama and them or Ray Ray and them daddy. You got to get a life insurance policy so that whoever you have decided would be trusted with the care of your children, they have a resource to put towards your children's upbringing. That's what it's for. It's not, I don't want my policy to go to Bone Quisha mama because she always got card games and she don't even cut the pot in the card games, fish fries, everybody eat for free. No, that ain't nothing to do with it. You have to, once you get a policy, you also should speak with an attorney. If you have a job that offers that, but a lot of times jobs have this benefit where you get a will for free with the attorney that's provided by the job, or you can sit with an attorney. It shouldn't be no more than $500 to get a simple will written up. Have an insurance policy that outlines what you want your kids to be dealt out if you are not here. That way, Bone Quisha mama and them don't get the whole check. Ray Ray and his uncle don't get the whole life insurance policy. It gets ished out over a certain number of years.
Yes.
You know, particularly if you are married, you need an insurance policy because you don't want your wife or the husband out in the street if your income is gone.
Yeah.
You want them to be able to take that policy, pay off the mortgage, and like after the funeral, they know they can wipe the sweat off their brow and not worry about that, and there'll be less tears.
True.
Another situation where I think you need to have life insurance. Let me see what else it is. Right on my tongue. If you especially if you're married, especially if you're a spouse, if you have young children and you have the financial means, one of the most beautiful things about life insurance is that it's much cheaper the younger and healthier you are. Let me say that. Life insurance is much cheaper the younger and healthier you are. My 32-year-old, my 28-year-old, my 6-year-old all have life insurance policies that I purchased for them when they were young. So they have $250,000 policies that's costing me it costs money, but these are policies that they take when they become adult. My oldest kids own theirs because it's been paid up dividend riders where I don't have to pay the premium anymore because I've been paying them since they were a kid, since they were a young kid. So they have $250,000 policies. So when their life situation change, they have a piece of insurance that they had that right now they're paying no money for because their daddy bought it for them when they was a kid. So this, if they were to get married, this can be incorporated into the family's financial pot. This is what Jewish people do. Hey, brother, in New York City, I work for MetLife. When the book of business transferred to me, a book of business is the agent that retired or left the business, I was handed over their clients. I was given $500,000 and $1 million checks to people who had passed on. MetLife just write them a check. Boom. Here it is. I deliver. I go to the family's house, so they come to the office. I push a $500,000 check right across the table to them. And the funny thing about it, they accepted it as a business transaction. It wasn't something that made them happier. They knew that they had that in place, and it was a matter of business to continue living, that this life insurance policy, this amount of money is going right into the family pot, and it's going to make everything okay.
Yeah.
So that's the factor. When you're young, even if you're single, it's best to go ahead and buy your own insurance policy when you're young and first starting your job and pay for that. Because if you get older and you decide to get married or you have kids, at that point, when you go to buy life insurance, you're going to pay more money. And with the whole life policy, the companies model a whole life policy so that after a certain number of years, the dividends can pay the premium, which means when you pay that insurance policy on time, after a certain number of years, you don't have to pay on it anymore because there's enough equity and dividends in the whole life policy, which is different from term, in the whole life policy to pay those premiums going forward, and you don't have to come out your pocket anymore. That makes whole life very attractive for a young person. So if you're a young person just starting out in the job force, I encourage you to buy a policy on yourself because you can always transfer the ownership of that policy to your spouse or to your children later on in life. 1, 2, 3. That's a matter of signing a document. And on that note, when buying the policy and talking about changing the ownership and the beneficiary of the policy to someone else later on in life, there were 3 times I gave a policy to a woman who was the ex-wife.
Mm.
Do you understand what I mean by that?
Yeah. Yeah.
The people did not update their policy information. So the first wife got the proceeds of the life insurance policy. So to say that and make it clear for somebody, for anyone who doesn't understand, an insurance policy is written in stone. It's not taxed and it can't be changed by anybody but the owner of the policy. So these 3 men who bought these life insurance policies and never changed the beneficiary, their new wife, one of the cases, the wife came to the office and my manager and I don't even want to say how much the policy was. My manager and I were delivering the policy and we didn't realize it was her. It was not her. It was the present wife, husband died, but the policy was in the name of the first wife.
Mm.
And there's nothing any law in the land can do about that because
Nope.
you, as the owner of the policy, you designate who the beneficiary is, and no law can change the beneficiary of it. It's even immune from lawsuits. That's another.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
go ahead.
seen that. I've seen that too. I've seen
Yeah,
I've seen those instances where, the woman who was married to the guy who died because he didn't update, like you said, he didn't update his policy, that some other woman got his life insurance because she was originally on the name of it.
yeah, brother.
Um,
I don't even want to say the amount, but
yeah.
it happens. So, and I think lastly, I would say that over time, insurance is not an investment. If an agent tells you that insurance is an investment, it's illegal for them to do so, and they're being shysty. So insurance is not an investment. It's a supplement to your financial well-being. It's a piece of your financial pie. It's an important tool with taking care of your family in your absence. So that's what insurance is. But nonetheless, as time goes by, there are assets that develop within that insurance policy. Even though I'm not in the field, I'm going to talk real compliantly. Over time, there are assets that develop within that insurance policy that you have, a whole life policy. So I hope everyone understands that. So now, that's life insurance, the umbrella. Within life insurance, you have a few different things. You have whole life, one that that develops cash value over time. You have a
Mhm.
term policy, which means that the amount you pay and the amount of coverage you get is set for a certain amount of time, which is the term. Excuse me, allergies killing me. So you can have a 5-year term life insurance, a 10-year term, and a 15-year term. I don't know if they're doing 20-year term anymore. But a term life policy does not develop cash value. You pay what the premium is monthly, quarterly, or yearly, and you're insured for that amount of time. So if I right now at 55 years old went to get a 5-year term policy for $250,000, it's going to cover me for 5 years in the amount of $250,000. At the age of 60, I have to decide to renew that policy, which it will increase. They can give me a lot of companies give you a guaranteed privilege to renew that no matter what your health situation is, if you continue to pay it month by month. So when it's due, when I'm age 60, if I say, you know what, keep it going, how much is it now? If I keep paying that, I can have cancer in my butthole. I can have a Martian landing on my face right now, like the alien, and I know I'm going to die. As long as I'm paying continuously and I sign that I want to continue it, I just paid a new rate and I'm covered for an additional 5 years at $250,000.
Yeah.
Everybody understand that? I'm looking at the chat. So if you have any questions, we'll try to break them up into a few, like, so that I can answer them instead of reading the whole paragraph, which I'm okay doing. But if anybody have any questions, just put them in the chat and we'll get to them. I mean, I don't want to go past anyone's understanding because I really feel I want everybody to understand. And yes, DMAX says, yes, life insurance is available through credit union banks at low cost. Yes. So if you like me, a pudgy, mid-50s, and you want to start a new policy, go into MetLife, New York Life, Fidelity, Mutual of Omaha. It may be a nice, pretty penny, but you can go to banks, credit unions, and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Well, they'll draw it right out of your account.
Yeah, that's what we have. It's through our credit union because we've been with the same credit union for 15 years. So
yeah, you know what? Today is Monday, the credit union called me to do my yearly review. So I forgot I bought a policy for the young 6-year-old when he was a baby. And it just goes out of there. I don't even notice it coming out of there because it's the amount. I don't even notice it coming out there. But to renew to see if my needs have changed. And my needs haven't changed. So it's so I'm good rocking how I'm rocking. But thank goodness that I bought insurance early in my life. Now I'm able to, like I had policies for my kids that they're the owners of. I have the policies that they own. And when they each got a job, because they have policies, I told them, listen, buy your policy on my life. Now this is going to be something separate. My daughter, like, oh, I never thought about that. She works for transit. So I'm like, yeah, buy a policy on my life. Whatever you want. I don't care how much you buy. Like, I know my daughter ain't trying to off me for that little bit, for whatever, it got to be a whole lot of money for my daughter to want to off me. Buy a policy on me. That's another little you got in the cut. Your father's a recovering addict and, eating all them burgers and all this other stuff, and I'm still prone to bungee jumping. Get a policy on me. Because I drive real fast.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with that, with my kids doing that either. In fact, I told them the same thing. All my kids are adults now, but I told them the same thing, to feel free. I said, I'll have a life insurance policy of my own. When I die, y'all not going to have to take out a GoFundMe.
Right.
You ain't going to have to scrape and scrap, to make sure I keep the properties. Ain't going to be none of that. Ain't going to be none of that when I die.
And that's another thing. We're talking about dignity. This is a way to dignify the people that you love.
Yeah.
Dignify them. Why must they come with hat in hand to people who are practically strangers to put you away?
Yeah.
I've seen it too many times. People calling me out of the blue. People, you get that call. You heard so-and-so died. Yeah, that's a shame. I didn't say, because it happened one too many times, so I know what it is. I got to give a little bit, listen to the sad story, and it's hard to say no when it's a funeral. So you're automatically thinking, damn, how much are they going to get me for? But it's sad. But, and it's what we do, man. We live, we buy Gucci belts and we go here, we go there. We do all these things. Small things are changing the habit. work your way around getting $50, $60 a month extra.
Mm-hmm.
Pack a
Mm-hmm.
sandwich.
Yeah.
Pack a,
Yeah.
another thing, these things save money. Drive a little bit slower.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Get rid of Hulu
yeah,
and Netflix
oh my man. Yeah.
and Sling account.
Yeah.
Get rid of that shit and invest it in some life insurance. Pay
Yeah.
that every month instead
Play
of
one or
playing your
two.
damn
Yeah.
Hulu account and your Netflix account and all this old kind of foolishness.
Play one or two less numbers. I know that's a touchy
Yeah.
issue. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? A lot of people want to hear that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
$2 boxes. Don't $5 boxes every day.
That's the thing though. I mean, we waste so much money on BS. Millions and billions of dollars on BS. So why can't you spend $50, $60, $70 a month on life insurance for yourself or
Yep.
for your kid or for
Yep.
your whoever? Why
Yep.
not? I mean, you blowing how much a month on weed? You blowing how much a
Oh,
month on cigarettes? You blowing how much a month on
yeah.
clubbing? You're
Yeah.
blowing how much a month on, just hanging out, drinking beer, whatever you're doing. How much money are you blowing a month on that? And you will never see any return off of it whatsoever. At least if you're paying a life insurance policy every month, if something happens to you, at least you can have the peace of mind when you send that check or transfer that money out your bank account every month. That will give you the peace of mind that you're doing this for the people you care about, man, which
Yeah.
is important.
It,
All
it,
right.
yes. And it makes you, it not only gives you the good feeling, it lets you know that you have crossed off one of them things about being a parent to your child, which is that provision
Exactly.
and protecting it. It lets you cross off that you've taken care of that in that area. And like you're saying, if we think about it, most people think, where the hell am I gonna get the money for that? Listen, if you buy one less pair of shoes, we're gonna wear Jordans, Tims, whatever we're gonna do, they're gonna be damn near $200.
Mm-hmm.
$175, $150. Buy one less pair of shoes. At $50, that is what, $12.50 a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
$170, $15 a month. So that's 15. So you one time a year, you're wearing one less pair of boots, right?
Yep.
Don't buy the Gucci belt, buy a regular old belt. You save yourself $250 right there, right? That's what is that? That's $40 a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going out all the time, doing this, that, and the other, clubbing, buying crab legs, $60, $70 in crab legs. Do that 2 times a year. Because I know you
Yep.
do it every quarter. Every time you get a little money, a little taste for the crab legs, lobster, you want to make a ball. Hey, skip the ball one time. That's your life insurance policy. It's small, subtle changes that we can do. You know what I mean? Like I remember when, and if anybody, I don't want anybody to think that no, I'm not this dude who got this and did that and did the other. Listen, I made progress through small progressions and small steps. But there was a time when I wanted to buy a boat. I bought the boat. Where did I get the money for the boat? I had to stop smoking cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
In order to afford my boat, I had to stop smoking cigarettes. So it was more important to me to be out on the water, fishing, catching big ass stripers, fluke, blackfish season, porgies, fill the boat with porgies. That was more important than smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
We can make
Yeah.
small changes. It's like listen, I know people at work, man, they do a $300 a month susu. $300 a month susu for your money to come right back to you. Are you that undisciplined
Yeah.
that you need somebody to hold $300 a month
Yeah.
for you to wait damn near a year to get your money back? I mean, wait damn near 6 months to get your money back? Make the change. We have
Well,
to be responsible.
that's the problem, right? I mean, because I'm pretty sure there's 1,000 things we do throughout the year that we don't really need to do. We could be
Yes.
taking that money and putting it towards, even if you're not going to buy whole life insurance. I mean, even if you're going to buy term life, I mean,
Yes. Buy something.
buy something. I can't say this enough, man. Why would you leave your family burdened, with burying you and all that kind of stuff. Because I know, man, over the course of many years, man, me and my wife, we had helped pay for a lot of funerals. We had
Oh,
paid for them outright. Um, one of my friends just died a few months ago, and they didn't have money, and we had to give them about $1,200, so they can, have the money they needed. After getting everything from everybody else, they still needed like $1,200. And I tell people about this all the time when it comes to, helping people bury grandma and bury this and bury that one. I mean, me and my wife, man, we probably in about $30,000, over the
yeah.
course of I don't know how many years.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, man. I
yeah.
know the family is the one that gets you the worst.
Oh yeah.
The
Oh yeah.
family. Well, it gets you the worst, man. And people don't think about it. Like I want all the men out here to think, all the men. I want you to think about this. Something happened to you. You're taking care of your daughter. What assurances do you want there for your daughter? Do you want your daughter having a tool to make sure that mama ain't just got to bring any old random dude in there to help her pay the bills? What if your wife or your woman decided, you know what? Leroy was real good to me. I don't need another man. Let me process this. Let me raise this daughter and I'll get back out there. Wouldn't you want her to have a pocket of money to be able to do that?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want that house? Yeah. Would you want her worrying about that mortgage? How's she gonna keep them lights on? How's she gonna fill that fridge? People don't think about that. That's what life insurance does. It makes sure you got something it makes sure your family got something in the fridge, man.
Absolutely.
And,
And
and-
usually it's a come up, because
yeah.
I know me, I'm worth way more dead than I am alive.
Oh, talk about it, brother. I know, right? Ain't that something? Oh, and here's another thing for us enterprising, for you enterprising black men and black women out there who busting your butt getting the bag. If you have life insurance, do you know it is a guilt-free pleasure to spend all your goddamn money and not think about nobody because you got life insurance? You can
Mhm.
be an old coot sitting on the rock of Hawaii, setting your goddamn money on fire and not give a damn. Why? Because you got life insurance.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
spend all yours. And this I tell my kids, this is why I encourage them. You need to get another policy on daddy because you think it's going to be a whole lot of money left over. You kidding yourself. Because the minute I see anything going downhill, first thing I'm doing is going to the piggy bank.
I'm
Listen,
spinning it all.
listen. I ain't, man, listen. I told my kid the only thing I want of you, man, if I ever ask you to take me to the Grand Canyon, you know what it is. Just take
Mm,
me there and turn your back. That's all. Because I'll jump off the cliff before I allow, a situation to sit there and chew my money up. But life insurance is it's very good to have because we think we have these investment accounts. Some of us, we have these 401ks. We say, I'm going to leave this to the kid. I'm going to leave this to, this is going to go to my kids. I left them something. I worked real hard. They daddy, they mommy, they knew how to do things right. My parents ain't know nothing, but I'm leaving them a guap of money. Now, you get to spend all your money. If you got life insurance, you get to spend all your money.
mhm.
When you retire, take your 401k, 457, your IRAs, whatever you want to do, take them to your butt and do the hula dance if you want to, because you got life
Mhm.
insurance and you ain't got to worry about the extra effort of leaving money to them.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, because we live in a world now where anything can happen. So,
Yes.
you know, the type of work I've always had life insurance I've had life insurance ever since I was 40, right?
Mm.
And I never thought I really needed it, and then the work I do is it can be dangerous. You can be
Yeah.
killed, you can be ran over by a bulldozer, you can get skewered by a skid steer. There is that remote possibility that
Yeah.
you can get killed out there. And, my wife was like, you do this work, and what if something happened? What if something
Yeah.
happened to you? What if you get ran over by one of their pieces of
And
machinery?
you see,
So
and that's another thing. as we, and you know, in this space, I see a lot of people building themselves up, having different experience, and living more fruitful lives. I
Mm-hmm.
remember back when I was selling insurance, there was this developer on Staten Island. He developed houses, and his wife had the finance company. So they was making bank. They lived in a beautiful house. So this dude, Italian dude, he had his pilot's license. He brought a kit plane, one of them kit planes that you put together and fly.
Mm.
His wife said, "Ain't no way in the hell you flying it if you ain't got $1 million in insurance." I
Yeah.
came out, bro. I came out to the house. I wasn't leaving that house without selling that $1 million policy. So I worked every way I could. I gave him a combination of whole life and term to get him to buy the policy. Because as a man who was in his late 40s, $1 million policy was a little bit more than he wanted to spend. See, his wife ain't had no problem, but she like, I don't give a damn what it is. We make money. You want to fly an airplane, you get $1 million policy, because ain't no way in the hell I'm going to be sitting around here for the rest of my life struggling because you wanted to fly an airplane that you put together yourself.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, yo, you know, go, you know, they listen, man. When see, that's one thing. When people got money, they think in a different way, man. And we think because we ain't got money, we can't think in certain ways. But you know, growing up in the five boroughs, I know there are huge Hasidic communities that didn't have a lot of money, but the practice of these people, what they did was every person had life insurance. And when the couple married, when the daughter came in married, those policies that the daughter owned on the parents, those went into the marriage, and the parents came into that house. So if they became infirm, the daughter took care of the parents. So
Hmm.
the life insurance policies went over there. Remember the rumors you hear? They say Jewish people used to push the old people on the Eastern Parkway, push them in the
Mm-hmm.
street.
Mm-hmm.
How much truth you think that, you know, they're gonna give me? They're gonna blow your channel up, man. But you know, this is the thing they do. Like the Jewish people would come, they would buy $500,000 term policies. I said, oh, well, what do you want? Oh, $500,000 term. I said, well, let me see how much. Oh, well, I'm 48. You know, I know my medical history should be around this much. They knew the rates better than I did because they talked to each other. It was a community and a culture of what they did with life insurance. So every generation got enriched that much more. We sitting
Mm-hmm.
here thinking about how we gonna get money to go to Jamaica next year. These people thinking about their grandkids.
Yeah.
They thinking about
Yeah.
keeping the house in the family until it falls to ashes.
Yeah.
But we thinking about, oh well, I want to go to Texas Roadhouse this week. I just pay my phone bill next week.
Yeah.
You know what I
Look.
mean? We putting rims on Benzes when they look better stock.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
We putting rims on cars that's worth $500.
Yeah, but you know, but then you know, X, we can't talk about them too much because you know what I mean. We don't want to, you know,
Yeah.
alienate people. You know what I mean? But
Well,
it's facts.
this is my thing. Because like I said earlier, you know, when people think about life insurance, you know, they think about death and all that stuff. I mean, and the honest truth is that we're all going to die one day. Whether
Yes,
you
yes.
die of old age in your bed
And then,
somewhere, get
yep.
shot, get killed at work, car accident, one thing we're all going to do one day is die.
Why? Yes.
So, I mean, why not be prepared for it as opposed to pretending that it's never going to happen? That's my thing.
Mm,
Um, I would not want to go away from here and leave my family poor, you know, more poor. All right.
mm,
I wouldn't want them to go into debt, you know, because I'm gone. You know,
mm,
I wouldn't want my wife to lose the house, the property, the cars, you know,
mm,
because I'm gone. And, you know, what I think often happens, brother Big Mag, is that the people who don't think about life insurance probably are people who don't have shit anyway. So they're not thinking about leaving something behind because I guess they don't feel like they have anything, you
mm,
know? But that's just it. That's just it. when you die, at least your kids will have something.
Yes.
Your grandkids, whoever you make a beneficiary to your policy, will have something. So
Yes. And that is a let me just interject real quick too. That is a huge thing. We think we don't have anything, and the people who think they know some shit, because I ran into this plenty of time. Oh well, why am I going to waste my money on insurance so somebody else can capitalize on my debt? That's a big thing. But,
yeah,
and I remember I had to hit this brother with this thing one time. He thought, oh, I got this, I got this. So let me ask you something. If you die and your wife can't afford all that shit with all these things, all these accomplishments you think you made, everybody gonna say you ain't shit. And it was totally out of protocol, but I'm sitting at the kitchen table, but I'd be real with him. I said, for all the things you think you got, if you die tomorrow and your wife get put out of this house, everybody's gonna say you ain't shit.
yeah,
And that's honest truth. You ain't shit, because for all the things you had, now that you're gone, your wife and your kids, your woman is on the street and your kids is struggling.
yeah,
You,
yeah,
you know, so it covers too many bases for us to think it's not a thing that we need to do.
yes,
It's something we need to do, man. And you're right. We go on and there's nothing anyone can do about it.
yeah,
But what about how you feel when you prove to yourself as a grown ass person that you're doing something to take care of your family?
oh yeah,
I think Sir Ism is trying to get the link up. You hit him with the you hit him?
because it's not really about you, right?
Right. It's
It's
not.
not it's not about you, man. When you do this, you're doing this for others, man. You're doing this for the people you care about, man. It's not
Yes.
about you
You
at
do it
that
for the
point.
people who are depending on you.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
not
here's
about
another
you.
thing. Here's another thing for us who know our kids ain't shit and we're gonna leave everything to the grandkids. There's a transfer tax that goes into that. It does not estate. Now there's a certain exemption depending on where you live. But if you have a house and some money in a 401k or in the bank or whatever have you, after a certain amount of money, there's an estate tax attached to that. So if you think you're just gonna leave it to your grandkids because your kids ain't shit, your grandkids are going to have to pay state tax before they even have access to those funds. So what that
Hmm.
means is that if your grandkids ain't got a couple of $100,000 to pay taxes, that motherfucking house getting sold to cover the estate.
Hmm.
That's why you need insurance. Because you think, yeah, I know, I know it's out there. Oh, my kids ain't shit. I'm a Gen Xer. My goddamn kids ain't shit. I wouldn't trust them with a goddamn, I wouldn't trust them as far as I can throw them. I'm gonna leave it all to the grandkids, blah, and it's 11 grandkids. I'm gonna leave it all to the grandkids, blah, 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 blah. But your property, that's called, what do you call it? It can't jump a generation. So if it jumps a generation, it's subject to estate taxation.
Hmm.
So that's something to think about. You need insurance to cover the cost of your estate taxes if you're gonna leave it to the grandkids instead of the kids, because you know your kids ain't shit.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have my grandbabies on one of them because I have two, and I have my grandbabies on one, and I have my wife and my two daughters on the other. So I've pretty much checked all boxes.
Yeah, right, right. So they can
Checked
party. This is
all
what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
checked
I
all the
want, I
boxes.
want, I want people partying. I want the music loud. I want good
Yeah,
food. I don't want
yeah.
anybody boo-hooing, especially
Nope.
when you know damn well I'm gonna get this $10,000 to
Yeah.
pay for this fat
I
bastard.
I want I want y'all to have a party when I
Yeah,
die. God damn it! I don't
yeah,
want y'all to be sitting around saying, "Damn, we gonna lose the house. We gonna lose the car. We gonna
yeah,
lose this. We
yeah,
gonna
man.
lose that." Nah,
Yeah,
ain't losing shit. Ain't losing
yeah, man,
shit.
and we need to have the conversation. So it's good because in my time doing it, and I'm gonna say this for the people too. I did this. What this was prior to 2020, 1996 to it was like 1996. No, sorry, 1990, 1993 and 1994 to like 1999, something like that. But anyway, whatever, total 6 years. It was 2000. Now, all the people that I sat across the table with and helped them set up their finances and things of this nature, the people were together, and I always make the point of this in this space. Married couples' wealth are 4 times a married household's wealth is 4 times the wealth of an individual household for every socio economic level. So if you have the single man or the single woman who got a master's degree making this salary, the married couple with that same degree making that salary, their household has 4 times the wealth of the single household. So when you adjust that, that means that the married couple, each of them has twice the wealth of your single ass.
Yeah.
So when you incorporate all of these things into your family planning, and not have to have the new Benz truck on lease every goddamn 3 years, and you do things the right way, you eat meals at home and you're taking family vacation, your wealth grows. And a lot of people don't understand that, really, it's not in your early years that you really start making money. It's it's typically your late 30s and 40s when you hitting a stride that's like, it's like money kind of like falling out the sky for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't really start making real money till I was like 39, 40, to be
Yeah,
honest. I mean,
I was 40 years old. Like I thought I was doing something early in life, but at 40, that's when like, whoa.
Yeah. That's when I started making real money, man. I had, I worked decent jobs and made a decent wage, through the course of my life as a young man, because I had decent jobs. But, talking about real money, I didn't start doing that until I was like 40. And shit, 3 years later, man, I actually had enough money to start my own business.
Ain't that
So,
something?
yeah.
It's a beautiful thing, and it's about responsibility. And when things are done in a family setting, this is one thing people don't understand. It's one of the biggest tricks they playing with us with this whole independence thing. It's fracturing the family. It's so many resources that go to that. But I would say that, when I talk about my divorce, I always make a point to know that we ain't went for no money. Money was not our issue.
Yeah.
But my 6-year-old, who was a product of the marriage, he really doesn't have financial worries, I would say, because if one of us were to drop dead tomorrow, he's cool. If both of us were to drop dead, he may be a little rich, but it becomes who's gonna take care of him. So
Yeah.
yeah, free man journal piece. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, them 40s or something, man.
Yeah.
That money, woo, boy, that money look good.
Yeah, that's when you start hitting that money train, boy.
And it goes to show auxiliary. When we don't
Free Man's Journal, you 47? God damn, man. Put Free Man's Journal up there, man. I'm just saying, man. You gotta shave that beard, man. You might need some Grecian formula, man. That motherfucker. Free Man Journal, you looking 67, you big head nigga.
Well, we have been joined by Brother Ism and my brother BMT. And shout out to Brother Ism for the $5 super chat. He says, salute Brother X, 100 insurance game. Jack. Yeah, then he comes back with another $10 super chat. He says, real men pull up for this game. I appreciate that, Brother Ism. You get this. A big coin drop on the platform. And also shout out to Brother Friedman's Journal getting his beard heckled by Brother Ism. He said, facts, at 47, I feel like I'm pulling money out of the air. Yeah, money started coming a little more freer when I was about 40, Brother Friedman's Journal. Things got better. I don't know if I got smarter, but I start making way more money. I actually made enough money to save up and start my own business, and it gave me financial freedom. Now I work when I feel like it, and unfortunately, I feel like it almost every day. But yeah,
that's
I probably couldn't have done this when I was 20. Yeah, I probably didn't have the means, the money, or the mind to do this when I was 20. So I guess everything happened when it was supposed to happen. But I appreciate it.
You can pull up on a Pookie. Pull up on a Pookie.
Well, man,
it's Ray Ism. Come on, Free Man Journal. You pull up on all them other shows. They like me, man. I'm entertaining, man.
I
Ike over Wambi. Give me the coins. Let me shut up. Excuse me.
A coin drop, Brother Freeman. I appreciate you dropping your hard-earned coins on this platform. Yeah, so if you want to come through, y'all know what to do. The email is prophetofthought@yahoo.com. That's prophetofthought, one word, no caps, at yahoo.com.
Yeah,
So
like
now that you're here, Brother Ism and Brother BMT, what's your take on the whole life insurance or lack thereof? What's your take on it?
Well, I'm long-winded like that with 5'5" Anderson. So BMT, I'm gonna give it to you because so when a woman got out the car, she looked down at me and then she said, "You should have told her I'll take that thing down." See, once you said you non-select obsidian, all you niggas,
oh God,
stop crying about women. How y'all having a manosphere meeting to cry about more women? You left this. Look at my son.
We're talking about life insurance tonight.
Okay. Skip.
Talking about life insurance.
So, Free Man Journal, you be pulling up on them other shows, man. Pull up over here. I like what you players was talking about. It was so smooth. I just had to pull up. And I had to drop coin and some more coin to my brother Prophet of Thought. I appreciate you getting me back on track. And I had to change my avatar to a top hat. But you know, some of these people don't never show their face anyway. So all it is avatar. Y'all spitting some good game up in here, man. Because you're going to pass. And where I'm from, a lot of brothers didn't make it past 20, 30, 40. So life insurance game, knowledge, whatever y'all call it, man, this is what we talking about over here. Prophet of Thought. You need 200 in the box right now. Because as black people, we don't share this game. We don't have Mrs. Jones, James Johnson across the street. We all having the Migo people come in. They help their families. They live in the garage for 2 years till they get themselves on their feet. And they all got life insurance. So one day you're going to perish, brother. Take care of these children. And that way we don't always have to start from zero. Because when I get older, now my kids got to start from zero. Your kids, zero. So when you leave them something, man, that gives you some kind of self-value. When you work in the family's restaurant, like the Asian people, that give you some kind of self-value. You'll clean it up a little more because it's your family's. One day it's going to be mine, like the Arab brothers. I remember when the brothers owned the liquor stores. Now the Arabs own all the stores, and they work together. I done went from Richmond to Sacramento, and they still own the stores. Come on, black men. Why we can't work together? Just because we not Pookie and Ray Rays and these other people, but can we work together? Go ahead. Excuse me, brother.
Yeah, and one thing about life insurance, I said earlier that it could possibly be a come up. You're talking about the beginning of generational wealth. You know, you leave your kids something behind. If they don't squander the shit, you know, they might can take the money and, you know, actually do something, especially if you've already left them, you know, property or a business or something like that. If you left them that along with life insurance, man, you may just strike the spark, man, that begins your family's lineage of generational wealth. I mean, because I'll say again, man, we mess up so much money on irrelevant crap. All right. Think about how much money we just threw in the garbage, right? Just threw in the sewer. That money could have been going towards a life insurance policy. You mess around and fall dead. Now your kids got to take out a GoFundMe because they ass broke and you didn't leave no life insurance policy. I mean, it's something we have to think about. I know we don't like thinking about it because we got to think about our death. But so what? You're going to die one day anyway. So why not have that peace of mind to say, well, at least when I do die, they don't got to take out a GoFundMe. They don't have to go and ask this person and that person to bury me. They don't have to go and ask this person and that person to pay for my funeral, pay for my final expenses, pay off whatever I got floating around in finances. I mean, because see, when you die, all of that stuff is left behind. If you got debt you owe on that house you living in, I mean, the funeral itself, the casket, all that kind of stuff is going to cost money. All right. And if you didn't leave any, guess what? Everybody's going to have to dig into their pocket to get it. All right. And unfortunately, a lot of us don't have it. A lot of us don't have it. That's why we always on GoFundMe. That's why we always calling somebody who we think got money to bury grandma, to bury grandpa, to bury auntie, right? That's why we're doing it, because we don't have it. But if we did have life insurance, even though we don't have money per se, we would at least have that assurance that if that day comes where, you fall dead, you don't have to worry about your kids running around scraping, scrapping, begging, borrowing, or taking out freaking GoFundMe's online to pay for your funeral expenses, to pay for the other crap that you left behind, the mortgage on the house, them old raggedy cars that you still got 2 years to pay for. Okay?
Here's another one. True story. My mother had a stroke. Strokes run in the family. I'm well aware of that. My grandmother had a stroke. I had an aunt who had a stroke. My mother had a stroke. Anyway, my mother was institutionalized, total paralysis on the left side. My mother retired from the city of New York. She had a pension and a 401k and Social Security. By the time it was all said and done, they had taken all the money. Now, my mother was not a homeowner at the time, but in those situations, if you having a parent, or if your ass later on 20, 30 years from now, whatever, you stroke out, you're in the institution, they're going to run the bills up to an exorbitant amount because the legal system has allowed them to do so. So what they're going to do is run these bills up. So at the end, when you die, they're still going to come after your estate. So if you have a house with no insurance, right? Guess what they're going to do? They're going to put a lien on that house. They're going to go after it. If you have any other properties with no insurance, guess what? They're going to go after it. So it's not just in the instances of death. It's after death. So that's what we have to keep in mind. It's after death that insurance is for. Because, we got to look around. Not everybody. I hope that I can die of natural causes. I hope I die on top of a virgin. But we all don't get to call how we go out. So taking my mother's example, her instance, she was institutionalized and ran up a whole bunch of bills. When she died, there was a lien on her, but there was no money left. But had she had a house, that's gone. That's
No,
gone.
what happens is you get two people in the family that sucker ducker niggas, like these niggas like Sonic One. Niggas got the Sonic Hedgehog. These niggas are fake. These niggas never show their face. Did that rhyme? These niggas are avatar gangsters. They talk about ism can ruin the stream. The numbers done went up since I came to the stream, you sucker ducker ass nigga. See, two niggas like you want to sell the house instead of having generational wealth where we can have a place where people have problems. They can come back to grandma's house, the house like they do down south. Did that rhyme? And they can still go there and get their life together and get back. But see, a sucker nigga like you that never dropped no bread, talk a bunch of shit in the chat room. See what I'm saying? Since I pulled up, the numbers have went up, square. Okay? But since you pulled up talking about nothing, you ain't dropped $1 over lunch money. I can't even get a Subway sandwich on you. That's why a bitch would never choose you. Because you are lame in the game. You green, goofy, guacamole ass nigga. Can't send a bitch to knock a book off a bookshelf, and you can't even send your woman to get the mail out the mailbox. Talking about me. Yeah, and I'm going to mute up. Squat.
All right. I want to go to my brother BMT, and we also been joined by brother Friedman's Journal. Brother BMT, you got it, man. Go ahead.
Hey, what's going on, X? What's going on, Ism? And blessings be to the Honorable X. I got to call you Honorable now. I feel like that is a good title that I definitely bless you with.
Don't make me blush, man. Don't make me blush.
Well,
go ahead.
I think the thing about it is, and I think that this is a very serious topic that sadly black men, and even now it's definitely the women, but the men definitely, they definitely do not take care of. I remember back then, mamas used to take out life insurance policies on the boys when I was growing up in Massachusetts, because you wasn't guaranteed to make it to 18. So guess what? Mama would take out a life insurance policy on you because your ass is out there running the streets. So I guess you get some type of payback. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being realistic. Now that I am a man now, and I remember, I've already lost 2 children. I lost 2 children already. They died. One, the mother and the child were killed, and the other one, they died of circumstances. So death can happen at any time. Nobody knows the hour or the day or the time when he may come, but he will come. And I tell this to a lot of men, but I hear the vitriol from a lot of men. Why? The older people didn't leave us nothing. They didn't do this. They didn't do that. And I'm saying, then break the damn generational curse. Break the curse. I watched as my grandma, 8 children, sat at a table, wondering how to pay off her funeral. I watched that when I was a child. I've seen other times where members have sat around trying to figure out, okay, granddaddy's dying. What do we do? Who's going to take care of these bills? These things happen a lot. And the thing about it, everybody likes to, nobody wants to think about that. My funeral is already paid off. My kid's mother's funeral is paid off. My daddy's funeral is paid off. And my grandma is paid off. I think my mother's funeral is paid off. I'm pretty sure it's already done. Yeah, we already know where she's getting buried at. So those things are already handled. And the thing about people say, why would y'all pay off your funeral? Are y'all trying to die? No. I'm not trying to make the burden of the next generation harder, having to worry about trying to get me into the soil. Just show up, say a few words, eat the damn cake, eat some food, and go to the lawyer to go pick up the land. These things are not hard, y'all. Like, I'm trying to tell y'all that literally this is where we falter out as Black people.
Yep.
You don't think ahead. Yep. You're not, I'm trying to tell you, you want to learn how grandma's house falls to goddamn default of taxes? Nobody kept up with that. That's one of the things a lot of the insurance people, like the brother Freeman, like he would tell you, he said, hey, you sure y'all might want to check on your grandma's taxes. You can't wait till you're an old man or old person having health problems. That makes it less likely that they want to put any type of viable insurances on you because they already know your ass is about to croak. It's better that you do it now. Like, I know there's not a lot of I'm not saying who's a homeowner or not, but you know one thing they do ask you? Would you like to put insurance? Freeman will sit across the table as a lawyer, and they'll say, do you want to put insurance? Any life insurance on you? They'll ask the person purchasing the home, would you like to put shit happens. Believe it or not, people die every time. You could be climbing up the stairs, slip in the tub. I'm not trying to be death and gloom, but like Ism said, sometimes you got to be unselfish. Yeah, I get it. It's $100. It's $50. I know some of y'all blow that on goddamn vagina. Some of y'all women blow that on going on a cruise. $50, and it's not like the $100 hit you all at one time. They pull it out of your check, so you really don't even notice it. See, I could talk about this because I have it. Like I said, I realize
they take it right out of your account.
Yeah,
right.
You know.
Yeah. So it's not even something like, oh man, it hit me hard. Like, you gotta understand, y'all. Like, this is one of the biggest cripplers of a lot of stuff, man. You could buy land. You can purchase land and say, hey, I'm going to leave this in my deed. And just, hey, I let y'all, my boys already have an acre of land waiting on them. You can have, shout out to Ism when he brought up the family house. A lot of people, when they get out on their own, they fall on hard times, guess what? Can you ask yourself, do I have a fail-safe place to fall back onto? You know what I'm saying? Well, guess what? All you got to do is call up granny or brother or sisters and them say, hey, we got the family land. I can stay on there. Sure, as long as you keep it up, as long as you keep up the bills, cut the grass, make sure the roof is good. Yeah, good. Some people have that where they go back down south and they say, hey, just turn on the lights. The rest of us will be down there to join you from New York. This happens all the time, but you know what that means? You have to be accountable, and these are life insurance policies that are part of the policy. And people don't take this serious, but then y'all always say, well, the white man culture, this and that. Well, y'all got to start stepping up, man.
And do the same and do what they doing. do what they doing. That's all.
Right. So I mean, we can do it. Hell, there are people that do it. There are people, but it's not enough of us. I'm speaking like I try to tell, like I try to be very honest about this, man. Big grandma's gone, y'all. So I know a lot of y'all think y'all can run a big mama's house. She's gone. The last of them did pass a few years ago. And granddaddy done got dementia. So you know he don't give a shit now. Especially with these new granddaddies. So we gotta start being honest with ourselves. Yo, man, what do I leave behind? What do I have set up? You know what I'm saying? Because understand this, like if you don't want to, you can always pass it off to somebody else. You can always give somebody else a head start. Well, what if they fuck it up? Well, guess what? Leave behind, and correct me if I'm wrong, you can leave behind a certain, well, for you to get the house, you cannot sell the house. You can put that in.
Exactly. Yes.
I don't know what it say, BMT, but it say somewhere in the Bible, brothers, that if you don't leave your children nothing, then your life was nothing. It may not be those exact words, but I want to leave my children something.
Now, what you saying that? Now, here's the thing about it, because that was a showmanship of power for a man to be able to do that. Say, hey, my sons, I leave this to y'all. However, actually tell them, listen, y'all cannot sell this off without a consensual agreement. And then even then, y'all still can't get rid of it because you have to meet certain criteria. Listen, y'all, I'm telling y'all right now, the game is cold. I already understand that. Like, goddamn, we got right now in Utah, Bill, there's 70 acres of land. We can't sell it. It's bloodland. I'm not sure y'all know what bloodland is, but bloodland.
I mean, live on it or leave it alone.
Exactly.
Or leave it alone.
Look up bloodland.
I like that shit. Instead of being in a gang, you can be bloodland. I like the way that sounds.
It's very deep, and it's literally. So let's say you have nowhere to go, but you were to get a trailer, and you were to put it on your family's land. Nobody can move you off of it because you're part of that family, and as long as you ain't doing no crazy nonsense, you can be right there on that land. Hell, if you want to, you can stay on that land. You have to get off that land. No, this is our great granny's land. This is our granddaddy's land. I have just as much right to be here. I can stay right there. Some of y'all don't want to go there and just do the work and clear the land, so that's your fault. You don't take what you have and make it work.
That might be where we going, BMT. The way they doing our food and the vegetable shortage and all this. That might be where we back going, y'all.
Listen,
you know what I mean? This ain't my show, but we didn't let Freeman get up here. Freeman done come up here with T.P.O.T. Look at Freeman with a short face. Freeman looking like he's a model. He had a gray beard. Look at Freeman. He looking like
I'm going to go to Brother Freeman's journal right now.
Go ahead,
what's good with it, brother? With Brother Freeman, what you got on it, man?
Oh, everything's good over here. Just working late night and enjoying the conversation. And I think we need to come up and buy houses and buy land and not sell. And I mean, that's what I did. I mean, my I got my inheritance early, kind of, and just worked my ass off to not sell. I mean, it could have been 7 figures, right? Just over $1 million if I sold, but I didn't. So I kept it and, worked my ass off for 2 years because I didn't have the money to do all the rehab myself. But, we had some apartments and whatnot. And, one lady was a hoarder. So I had to clean out a hoarder's apartment. And then the other lady, she was just a bad tenant, but it was just a lot of work, and then somebody ended up breaking in, and then I had to clean everything up and have some squatters, had to clean all that up. I mean, it was a trial, but on the other side, my mom is taken care of. She has nothing to worry about for the rest of her days. She's over my house now, seeing her granddaughter. So, it's worth it. So don't sell. And then, we got to look for houses, man. There is so much money being thrown at the hood. It's being thrown at black people, literally. I mean, Atlanta has 6 different housing opportunity zones for first-time buyers, and there's grants and grants for your down payment. I mean, and the income limit is like $80,000. You can still qualify for money towards your down payment, even if you make up that like $85,000. It's ridiculous. I mean, there's no way you're a black man with a full-time job and you don't own a house in America. If you live in a big city, there's no way, because they're giving it to you. I mean, that's how gentrification works. Matter of fact, I went to where is that? Vine City in Atlanta. The lady who introduced me to my wife, this is back in 2017, said, hey, this neighborhood is coming up, yada, yada. Okay, we go look at it. And she was turned off because there were white people in it. I mean, neighborhood, black as train smoke, but who's moving in, right? White folks. And it turned her off, so she didn't do it. And I'm like, man, that is ridiculous. Ridiculous. And I don't know.
Really ridiculous.
And what I say, get a trust, y'all. If you don't have a trust, get a trust so you can stay out of probate.
Yes, there you go. There you go. You know, let me just interject real quick, and that's King. I see your avatar says King. I wanted to ask you, have you ever known of a product where you could pay so little over time and get so much in return, like life insurance? Like, where can you spend $50 a month and get, depending on your age, get potentially $100,000, $125,000, $150,000, $50,000? Where can you get that money outside of life insurance by paying only $50 or $100 a month? Well, if he didn't hear it, that's to anybody. And I'm just putting it out there. It's rhetorical. You can't get nothing that will build your family's wealth that's more of an impact of return than buying some life insurance. Where you going to get $100,000 by paying $50, $60, $75 a month? How else can you do that? People don't see that.
Exactly. I was talking, my damn mic was off. But yeah, you're exactly right, man. You know, there's nothing else that you're going to put $60 a month into, you know, and it'll come back to $100,000, $200,000. Even your best stocks, all right, you're not going to be able to drop $60 on it a month and at the end of it have 200 grand. I mean, it's not going to happen. You're going to put in a considerable more amount of money in it than that. My thing is this. I think that we as black folks, we have a problem with investing in things over the long term. Many of us in many parts of black society, we're more so into instant gratification. If we put money into it today, we want money back from it next week. We have a tendency not to see the value and things like that. A lot of us don't even know what a trust is. We don't know what probate is. We don't know the difference between term life insurance and whole life insurance. A lot of us don't even know these terms. We don't even know these terms because we've never researched them. We've never shown any interest or desire into getting to know these things. And I'm talking about not people that are in their teens, 20s, and 30s. I'm talking about people who are in their 50s, 60s. All right. They don't know what a trust is. They don't know what probate is.
I want to know what the difference is, because you brothers spitting some game. Excuse me for cutting you off, because I know I do that. I talk too much. But what was the difference between, what did the brother say, having a trust and something else he said?
Yeah, trust versus probate.
Probate, yeah. I want to know what's the difference with that. Because, you know what I mean? Because I see a lot of these people with a lot of money, they get the trust, like Kobe Bryant's and the big people, they have a trust. I want to know what's the difference with that, because I never heard of that.
A trust keeps you, it's like a separate entity. You know, it keeps you out of probate. So what it is like, say I get a revocable trust and my kids and my wife are on it. So if I were to pass on, it just goes to them automatically as a trustee. You don't have to go to probate for that. So when you have a will, You have a trust and you have a will. Like will is for like small stuff, your little stuff in your house or maybe a car or something like that. But you'll still need a will for that. But the big stuff, it just passes to them, and they don't have to. It doesn't have to be sold for taxes. It's not subject to any of that. So it really protects your family's wealth.
Yes, and to chime in on that, a trust, in a simple explanation, a trust is the legal instructions to distribute the wealth, the money, the possessions that you've acquired. So a trust gives the instruction of how it's going to be distributed, like Freeman was saying. So you have a trust. Let's say, for argument's sake, you got $1 million in a irrevocable trust. You don't want your no good ass kids to have it at one time. So you can distribute it over a certain amount of time, and you can put conditions. You can say, okay, my son, he will get $100,000 once he graduates college. He'll get $10,000 a semester while he is fully enrolled. If my son marries without a prenuptial agreement, he will be removed from the trust. If my daughter has a baby out of wedlock, she will be removed from the trust, but she will get an income of $50,000 a year. So it's a trust is a way of distributing with specific instructions your money.
Wow.
So that's what it is.
I like this shit. Because y'all giving people instructions. I'm used to giving people instructions. I like this shit. I got to get the trust, T.P.O.T. Help me get a trust, T.P.O.T.
It clears all the confusion of your property and stuff like that. I mean, everybody know what they're going to get. Everybody, it just kind of clears up the confusion if if you have a trust.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
That's like why Freeman was saying, if the house, if the value, that house which has a value, if that's put into a trust, you can say that this is going to stay here in the family's possession for the next 100 years. People can live. This person can live here. This cannot. You can't sell it. We're going to take taxes to pay from the trust, blah, 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 blah. And probate is just simply the process, your estate. Your estate is the value that's there when you die. Probate is the process that your estate goes through to administer the tax liabilities and simple distribution to heirs.
So you said if they have a house, they couldn't sell it if you put it in a trust for 100 years? You could actually do that?
If you write the trust that way, yes. If you write the trust that way, yes.
That's what I was trying to
tell you. That's what you're saying, bloodline.
That's why. That's good game right there.
That's why
I think the house my grandmama in right now, my father and his, but they may have been like 50 years, but I didn't know you could do that where they couldn't sell it, because most of the people on the block that my grandmother grew up on, it was all black. Now it's like 3 black people left, and the rest is Spanish and Filipino. But if they would have had a trust, they could have kept that house for 200 years if they want. You could just pay on the house, but you can't sell it.
They can stay there, and then somebody, something, so either the trust as an entity, because a living trust becomes an individual, it pays the taxes, or someone is instructed to pay the taxes through the trust. So long as you pay the property taxes, that's the house stay there for 200 years.
So we have. So here's a trick that I'll show some of you guys. So let's say you have money, you leave money behind. Okay. So what you do with the money, and if you have some property, you make it a condition that the money that's left from your assets is used to pay the taxes.
Yes.
So
yes.
You use it so that way the money is used to pay the taxes, and that the house cannot be sold, but only used for family gatherings and family affiliated purposes. So when you say that, then literally, 1, the house is taken care of. 2, the assets of the funds is being used for the upkeep of the house. Okay, these are ways that, from what the brother's telling you and what I'm trying to tell you, will protect you. Also, if any of y'all do have a relative, mom, pop, granny, grandma, granddad, whoever, you need to go sit down with them. Hey, I want to sit down with you and start helping you write out your trust and get it notarized. You need to do that while they are in right state of mind.
Yep.
So that way it will protect them. And so that we're trying to let you know, like my old lady works in the medical field. I'm telling you, once they get behind them doors, weird stuff starts happening. And stuff starts dissipating. This is why I always tell people, man, I'm not going by granddaddy's house. And go grab them kids. Say, no, you're going to go by and you're going to go sit down with them. You need to get these paperwork signed. Sometimes y'all got to learn to put aside that bullshit and literally man the fuck up or woman the hell up. Because understand this, I ain't never seen nobody take a house to the grave. I've never seen nobody take a car to the grave. Well, I've seen one nigga. He tried it. He got buried in his car, but that's a whole different story. But the thing about it is this: for the most part, understand what you don't do, you leave burden on other people to do, and so it is easier to handle that while you're in your right state of mind. Like, understand this, like a lot of this stuff I can't take with me. You know what I'm saying? My mom broke down the tear and said, yo, when I asked y'all to come over to my house and cut my grass, understand this. I'm telling y'all this because I'm not going to always be able to do it. So you know what we started doing? We started on making a routine for the upkeep of the house. So as my mom is now getting older, guess what? It already is set up so that way other people do it. So that way, guess what? Sit back, mom, dad. I already bought my dad some diabetic shoes and his favorite coffee mug so you can go fishing. Because as they get older, they're not going to be able to do that stuff. But you got to take time and get the paperwork done.
You gotta be a person that thinks ahead to think about that kind of stuff. Though, if you're a person who's into instant gratification and you don't think about tomorrow, next week, next year, or the next 5 to 10 years, you're less likely to do these kind of things. All right. So it's a mind frame, right? That you gotta have to do this kind of thing. If you don't have this mind frame, you're not going to do it. All right. Just like you probably don't put no money in the bank. You probably don't try to save. You probably don't, try to invest in something that's going to make more money down the road. You don't do any of those things anyway. So you're definitely not going to be thinking about, what's going to be going on after you're dead and gone, because you're probably a person who also believes they're never going to die. So there is that.
And there are also programs, depending on where you live, that will help you maintain that house. Some are loans and some are grants. So I've seen areas where, you can apply for a $10,000 grant for upkeep of your home. So a lot of these older areas that, older folks are living in, they can't be maintained, and for free. They'll pay you to maintain it, which is crazy. So just throwing that out there.
Freeman, you kicking that good game, man. It's only one cyborg, and that's Uncle Ism. I mean, I'm going to live for 200 years, but you niggas going to be old and gone. I'm going to be talking to you young players. I'm going to talk to your grandsons, man. Y'all better give me all the game. T.P.O.T, I'm going to be here, man. I'm a cyborg. I never die. I'm Uncle Ism.
Man, I can hear it. It sound like you got. It sound like you got gout in your foot right goddamn now. I know you ain't that gout gonna get you, man.
I had a heart attack in 2014. They don't want to give me no insurance now. God damn. But hey, man, but I made it through though.
Go to your bank account.
How can I bypass that? Because I did have one. I had a blocked artery, but since then I've been pretty good. In 2014. So what I need to do?
Go to your bank and your credit union.
Yeah.
Also try some online sources, because there are that will, once you're out of, they call them like, you have to be out of cancer. You have to be out in remission for a certain amount of time. It has to be a certain amount of time past a cardiac event, things like that. So there are ones that will insure you, but it's going to cost a little more. So I would say first try with your credit union. See what they're asking, the forms. Some of them have a form that said, have you had a heart attack, a stroke? Do you smoke crack? Shit like that. Do you have HIV? Some of them have those and some of them don't. So you're going to have to search around. I don't know which ones in particular, because like I said earlier, I was in the game a while ago and my policies are just on. I I had what I
Hey,
had. Right now.
man, I appreciate it because I've never heard
Yeah,
any of this. This is some good game tonight, y'all fellas. So y'all need to hit T.P.O.T with a Cash App, a Super Chat, a PayPal. Hit him up, man. If nothing else, hit the goddamn like button, man. This is some good game.
Yeah.
We
Hit
got some
that
players
like
in here
button.
tonight.
Take your money and get you some goddamn life insurance. Don't give it to me, goddamn it.
I'll
Take it and get some goddamn life insurance if you don't have any. All right.
Before you haunt your mama. Before you haunt your mama.
Because
you gonna have your mammy.
Because if you don't,
that's right. That's right.
If you don't, I will haunt your old black ass mama in her dreams. Yeah.
I like that one, T-P.O.T. I like that one. That was player.
make mama have a heart attack. You better go put some life insurance on her.
You got a whole drop for the motherfucker. That was some player shit.
Yeah,
right
it is him. I see they dropped in the chat. Aflac also tried a company combined insurance. It's a lot, you got to look around, but I know there used to be a commercial that said, my name is Big Lou. I'm like you. And Big Lou he said he was a fat motherfucker, had heart attacks, all type of shit. And he started a company because he couldn't find insurance. So I can't remember the name of the company, but I remember I'm in New York. The commercials used to say, my name is Big Lou and I'm like you. If you have conditions and you need insurance, call us. But yeah, search around. I'm sure you'll find something because the event is so long ago.
Hey man, this is a great game. We all gonna perish. So why not put 20, 30, 50, $100 away every month? I mean, y'all smoke that up on weed. Y'all buy that on drinks. And let alone y'all niggas that be tricking. Kevin Samuels told y'all to spend $3,000 on the batch. So y'all niggas need to put $3,000 a month for your life insurance. You children will be rich. They'll be the next Rothschilds.
Oh, and shout out to Brother Big Mag, the fish. I appreciate that, Brother Big Mag, that $10 super chat. You get this. I appreciate you dropping your hard-earned coins on this platform. Appreciate that, Brother Big Mac. Go ahead, Brother BMT. You got it.
That's true. Like, y'all gotta understand, man. I've sat and listened to a lot of vitriol talk about boomers versus millennials versus Z, all this versus X, Y, and Z shit. Like, I'm trying to tell y'all, man, like, you can break the curse. Like, actually, literally, they'll even write out policies for you. Like, listen, man, if something were to so happen to you, it's $100,000. I remember, I remember when they had the Gerber life plan for babies.
Yeah.
That literally you could put that on your child when they're first born.
Yeah.
And literally, you know what I'm saying, set that up. Like, it's the same thing for brothers. You know what I'm saying? You can pass your money over to your sister or your cousin or whoever. You can choose. You know what I'm saying? For some of y'all who don't have kids, or you can even have it you set up to go to a charitable cause if you want to say, hey, I'm gonna take my seeds with me to the ground. But for the most part, holistically speaking, majority of the people that think this thoroughly are kind of men that are more seasoned. I'm not saying that you guys are not seasoned, but y'all might want to talk to somebody who's like, more well conditioned and stable. Like, I'm gonna be honest, the life insurance type talking points and mindset, that's more for seasoned people in life. I'm just being honest. Like,
well, let me say this. It becomes a matter of if you're a young person and you start in the workforce or whatever you're doing, you're starting a business, trade. It's for people who are regularly working. I think it's more for people who've already made the decision, young or old, that I'm just ain't gonna be a piece of shit. I'm gonna do something. I think we have the ability. You can, like, I don't want to say people get turned off because they say, oh, well, I ain't on these motherfuckers level right here, so insurance ain't for me. No, that's not what it was. And earlier in the show, we were talking about all the situation, even the passing the hat, because even you said it. When you were young, your parents or grandparents put insurance on you. It's for, we just got to get to the point. It's like a cell phone. Every motherfucker got to have one. It's just like, that's what it is.
I get you with that. The reason why I said what I said is because we got, there were different occurrences in our time or in our lives where we're like, you know what, I'm not promised tomorrow, or damn, like that I almost got to a car wreck. You know what, maybe I should go sit down and actually write out this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like sometimes I don't want to have to be with one of these brothers or the ladies in the chat. Y'all get into a serious issue where, understand it, because mind you, when it comes to these insurance policies, they do ask for your health. They do ask like, yo, so what's your health right now? How are you doing? Are you dying of cancer? They're gonna actually, I'm telling y'all, I go to the VA, y'all, every goddamn month. Them dudes want to know if my heart's ticking. They waiting to hear that. They waiting to get that phone call. So I'm trying to let y'all know that, and I'm saying that respectfully, that I don't want y'all to have to wait till it's too late. And then, you know what I'm saying, they're telling you, well, the only thing they can hand your people are hospital bills. And so I'm trying to let y'all know, man, like, y'all need to start.
Well, goddamn, Freeman Journal. They want to know, man. You over here rocking your Shamar Moore side of the game. You over here trying to be like you tanned up, like you done been in the Bahamas and shit. Yeah, Freeman.
That is the Bahamas, actually. I am in the Bahamas in that picture.
You did what I'm saying? Hey, Ism got the game. Hey, Freeman, why they be hate? Why your friends hate on me, man? Me and you understand each other. You was in the Bahamas, man, on your Shamar Moore side of the game.
Actually, let me show y'all something. Can I share my screen, T.P.O.T?
Yeah,
absolutely. Go right ahead.
All right. Can y'all see it? All right. Can y'all see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. You might have to blow it up just a little.
Okay.
For us old Negroes with bad eyes.
That's his policy.
So this is just this is just one site. There are many sites, right? But this is one that shows you what some of the benefits are. And this is Vine City that my friend showed me back in 2017. So they'll give you $10,000 towards your down payment, right? And you get a VA loan that's only 3.5% down, which is nothing. So I mean, they're paying you to get a home, and there's a couple of things you gotta hoops you gotta jump through, right? Program fees $1,000. You gotta attend some classes, right? And they say don't have more than 10,000 assets, which is easy to make happen. But they're you can buy 2 to 4 unit townhomes, right? So you can buy a multifamily property and you can earn up to $85,000. I mean, it's crazy. And then just to show you the neighborhood, right? This is Vine City. They're selling this house for $489,000. Right? That house went for $14,800 in 2013. And I don't know what this 834. I don't know what this is. Sometimes Zillow pulls some weird records, but $14,000 to $489,000. Because I guarantee you this house was a wreck, and all they did was come in and just fix it. That's it. And now they're going to get $489,000 out of it. You know, and look at this one here. This where is it? This one for $170. Back in 2017, this house probably would have sold for $30,000, right? And now it's all boarded up, you know, but that's still an opportunity because you come in and you put $50,000 in it, say $100,000 in it, and you sell it for $49,000. Come on.
You know the thing about that, what you're showing, brother, and I'm gonna show you why let me show you why black people are slipping behind. Because grandma's house might one day have a Walgreens around it, a Walmart, a store. Y'all be surprised what ends up around grandma's house. Like he's showing y'all these homes, and they only take a few dollars of investment to fix them back up, and the house will go from $30,000 to goddamn $200,000 or more. Like I watch this happen all the time.
Well, I got to go to Jamaica Jam next year. What the fuck? What? Bio? Do what? I got to go get my fucking $5,000 for Jamaica Jam next year. Fuck this shit. God, y'all must be crazy. I need to go twerk and fucking and fuck me some island girls or whatever the fuck a man or a woman gonna do.
You know, and I think the thing about it is when it comes to everybody always thinks about now, travel. That's true. But then I always find it interesting when something happens, I always hear that same song, when somebody please take care of me, when somebody please take me in, X, Y, and Z, all that good shit. I hear that all the time. Literally, my old lady, she works with a bunch of CNAs a lot, and she watches these people's property and money and everything. Like it costs money, y'all, for health aids. That shit will eat up your life savings really fast. It costs money to keep for upkeep and shit. And when you get too old and that you can't do it, I hope to God you got somebody watching your back. But if you don't, you are fucked. I'm just being so honest. Like it is a very terrible way to go. And if they, I think when they put you inside of the state house or called the old folks home, the state does have the right to seize your shit, and they will seize your shit.
Oh yeah.
So, and hopefully you got that stuff down. Like the brother's showing y'all, he's trying to show y'all some stuff. So y'all please pay attention. Go ahead, bro.
No, I was just saying, like familial responsibility laws, those are coming back definitely. As people age out, they're gonna start looking for your relatives.
Here go another hit too. When we're talking about our grandfather, grandparents, and mothers that we don't want to go fucking visit. You know that in the Midwest, in the West, there's a huge industry of this fucking people coming in on what do they call that? Ward of the state. Making these elderly people who living in these houses with nobody visiting them, they go right down to the fucking courthouse and file papers for ward of the state. Unbeknownst to the elderly people sitting in the house minding their fucking business, a stranger is coming there putting documents on them saying that they taking care of them. And what they do is it's a totally legal process. It is fraudulent, but they're allowed to go through it, and they're trying to change the legislation for this now. But these people go in there and they sit on the corner and peep the old people living there, go put in water the state papers and drain all their fucking assets. Meanwhile, the grandkids and the kids ain't checking on their elderly people. This is happening in the Midwest and the West. I know that's a little off the rails, but I'm seeing this shit more and more happening.
Yeah, because if someone's able to do that, that would indicate that no one's coming around, no one's checking on grandma, no one's checking on grandpa. So if a person is able to come in there and do this kind of crap, you know, we already know that this person has no contact with their grandchildren, children, or any other family members. But how about that? Like, what if you are an old person, you're in your 70s or 80s, and you don't have any children to speak of, you don't have anything? Like, what do you do with all your money? And the same with some of us now who don't have children, we don't have a wife, we got this money. I know a lot of us don't have life insurance, so your ass get killed. Where does all your stuff go? Where does your house go? Where does your money go? Where does your cars go?
Like King was saying earlier, we need to start doing this paperwork now, starting these trusts. Freeman and King was saying, we have to start these trusts. I have in my family, of my mother's side of 17 kids, 3 aunts who did not marry. One died about 15 years ago. She was in Detroit. She had 2 rental properties, 2 brownstone rental properties, plus the house she lived in. First black woman I know to drive a Bentley. She died, no kids, everybody split up assets. I have one who lives in New York with me now. She's suffering dementia. Worked all her life, no kids, and my nieces and my youngest aunt came up. She's up here. She came up here Tuesday to come administer her affairs. But all she put in place was a healthcare proxy, no living will. And I was saying a long time ago, listen, let's go get her. Let me get her an elder care lawyer and get her affairs administered. But you know, these women today, they don't want to hear shit a nigga got to say. We don't know nothing. They know everything. So I had to fall back from that. But what happens is your money goes to nobody. Now, there's another thing. It gets split up between your survivors or whatever, or the state. Now, there was a woman, when I was selling insurance, her husband died. She was very well off. She had an apartment on Central Park South overlooking. I lived in Harlem at the time. I can see my old funky ass house from her apartment all the way across Central Park. I see my block, my funky ass building. She lived in Central Park South. She had no relatives, no kid that she was willing to leave money to. She left all of her fucking money. She had a house in Waterbury, Connecticut. She left all of her fucking money to a cat sanctuary.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Left it to a cat sanctuary and was happy as hell.
You got to understand, and that's the thing about it. Shout out to you for bringing that up. That's why I said you got to understand. Y'all got to go tackle these things while people are. But actually, on the paperwork, you're signing it in right state of sound mind. In other words, the person signing the paperwork, out of us 5 men, when you're signing these paperwork for trusts and you're signing over to these legal documents, they're going to ask you, was the person in their right state of mind? If not, then you're left up to the state and for a judge and for random strangers to decide your fate. And when they start slamming them gavel, they do start chiseling away and start seizing the assets. And everything starts to default to the state. And so this is why I try to tell you, y'all might want to get in there. Y'all need to go get this signed. You need to go get a notary. You need to go get things notarized. You need to go get them right off. Sometimes even down to a letter, to whom it may concern. These are my last wishes, and start getting it notarized by a notary. A notary only costs goddamn $20 to $50. Jesus Christ.
Not even here. A notary notarize your shit for like $6.
Yo, my bank charges nothing, and the other ones are charged like $3 or $4.
So you could understand this. So you literally could take so and so. Let's say if he were to take me to the bank, sit me down, and say, "Okay, what would you like done, King?" And I would like this done. I would like for my brother to handle my affairs and X, Y. I'm telling y'all how this.
No, that's out. For that is an attorney has to draw up those forms.
But I'm saying
the form has to be drawn up.
Right, but I'm saying these are the things that y'all can do. Y'all can go down to go get these things done.
Yeah, we do these.
Yeah, you need to get those taken care of.
Sorry to interrupt, King, but yeah, I just wanted to say, because I'm getting ready for work. They called me in for the holiday. That's time and a half on top of the day I'm getting paid for, so it's double time and a half. But it doesn't take a lot of money for us to do these things, and we don't have to have a lot of money. But most of the people here and in this chat, in this space, most of these people have jobs where they're doing something. So you don't have to have a lot of money to get fucked over, to get your money fucked over when you die. Yeah. You don't have to have a lot of money. You have to have just put things in place for whatever you got. And that's what this discussion is. I'm loving this right here, man. This is where it's at, and this is where, because I know that from this day forward, people are going, yeah, I know, right? Look, I got to split all the money up between them motherfuckers. Do you think I want some old raggedy motherfucker trying to raise all my kids? Look at the little one on the right there carrying the other one. He's responsible. I need to put money in his fucking pocket. How are you gonna carry my other little baby? But yeah, it's these are the discussions we got to have. This is what we must do. All these things, and they tie into each other. When you bringing in regular money, no matter how much money it is, that's a tool to make more money. Regular money makes money. We just have to make adjustments.
Yeah, and that's all. That's the thing I'm trying to. Like I said, these things are important, y'all. Like understand, like I'm telling y'all, man, we're defeating ourselves in droves. And
Yes.
we don't have to. It doesn't have to go down like this. You know what I'm saying? Well, shit. For some of y'all brothers that y'all don't want to give nothing to that woman, why don't y'all turn y'all house to a sanctuary for men that are homeless? See how y'all just did that? You can literally have your house up. Y'all say, well, there ain't no places for black men on the street. So why not turn your property into something for goddamn the VA or for homeless brothers to have a place to stay for a halfway house to get back on their feet? There's different things you can do. Shit. You know who do more than who do that play more than ever? Women. Women will take a house that they're not staying in and turn it over for other women to stay in there. Why can't we do the same thing for the brother? Like you about to croak. I know there was a brother, he was about to die. You know what he did? He had a few younger brothers come stay there. He said, only thing I ask y'all to do, please make sure I get my pills and I get my food and my medicine. And y'all can have the 3 rooms. And just don't turn up the goddamn don't play around with the thermometer, thermostat. They did that and they took care of him. They were like his adopted sons until he died at 73 years old. So now they got a house. They got a house and literally they're still there. But he was smart enough to move them in and said, hey, watch my back. And he signed the house over to them. He didn't have no sons, but he gave 3 men that needed a place to stay, and they had to have a job. And guess what? He got them about the way. Now they have a leg up, but they have a place to stay. They understand for them to keep the house with the trust says they cannot have no women in that house. If they have any women in the house, then they need to move out. But guess what? They don't bring no women in the house.
Well, hey, listen, brothers, I have to hit the door. I got to be to work at midnight. I want to say I really enjoyed it. X, I want to thank you for having me up there.
Absolutely.
And remember, if any ladies in the chat, X is making a home for you single women who figure you're going to do everything on your own. So look forward to that. You're building the property. You can bring your old raggedy ass in there and don't worry about nothing.
I done already told them that I'm about to buy this building.
Yeah.
It's going to be X's affordable apartments for single hoes.
Listen, brother, I want to say good night to everybody. Peace out, and you'll see me around, man. I gotta go. I gotta hit the road.
Peace, brother Big Mac. Appreciate you coming through, brother.
Big Mac. Did you say hoes?
Yeah, hoes.
Different area codes.
Hoes need a house too.
Come on, man.
I'm telling you.
A lot of these dudes' wives is hoes. Don't be mad at me.
But I think that's a big thing about it, X. Like,
what's that?
And we look at it between who leaves behind more things between the women or the men. Sadly, the men don't practice leaving something behind like they should. They don't. I mean, y'all can try to say, "Well, the statistic, nigga, I got life on my side," and I can tell you, they don't. Versus everybody knows, ask grandma or go to grandmama.
I have the empirical data.
Right. They are. We already know in life, literally, more people will more so do more for grandma than they will for granddaddy. But they say, "Damn, I don't know if that nigga left me anything." So we falling short from grace in that type of era. And so this is something that we definitely on game that just shows some kind of showmanship when Ism says, listen, I left my son a car for him so that way he can go to work, he can go to college, he can ride his girl around, and pretty much do that. Shit, my dad gave me a bed when I was having my first child. You know what I'm saying? That shit, I said, damn, what the hell? This man gave me a mattress and a goddamn a comforter protector and shit. You know what I'm saying? He said, well, shit, I didn't get one. He said, we had a mattress on the floor when we started. So sometimes you want to help the next generation at least get somewhat of give them a sneaker on their goddamn foot, something to start the race. God damn.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. And shout out, brother SKC. He said, just saying, what's up, X, doing a review of The Harder They Fall tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time with a panel before your interview. Just finished it. What a trash Western. Yes, tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be being interviewed over at the old SKC channel. Make sure you are there. All right. 3 p.m. Eastern Time. I will be over there being interviewed, having my brain picked. So come on through and check it out and catch me over there getting interviewed by brother SKC.
T.P.O.T, if you don't getting interviewed, you usually interview everybody else.
SKC.
Been getting a lot of interviews lately, you know.
Man,
I've been turned a few down.
You can't get interviewed by these niggas that don't show their face, though. You getting interviewed by avatar, man. It might be a Jewish or London white woman, man. SKC, you need to show your face. I've been talking about the faceless spear. You got to knock it off. This is the new YouTube. I know they got season 1, season 2. They got what is it? Avatar 1. What they call it, man, in this space? 1.0,
2.0, and 3.0.
Okay, well, all you no face .0s, all you niggas that be acting like y'all avatars in some kind of motherfucking character from Yu-Gi-Oh! Or some kind of character from Knights of the Shining Armor and all these different games, Fortnite, Last Man, Donkey Kong face niggas. Won't you? All you niggas need to show your face. We're no longer doing that. We're not believing. We're no longer cash apping faceless motherfuckers. Okay? Show your fucking face, nigga. If you ugly, just show an ugly nigga. Bitches might like you, nigga. See me? I'm ugly. I said, nigga, I'm ugly. Show your fucking... See, I'm ugly too, nigga. Show your face. Let her choose, man. And I'm gonna get up out of here, T.P.O.T, because you know I got a truculent personality. They said, "Is that truculent mean good?" Well, I'm that, and then I'm gone. Obsidian, do you still want to debate, you big head nigga? Check.
Oh, God, freaking ism is like off. I mean, completely off the ship. Completely off the ship.
He about to go on a 5K or something. Good guy.
He was off the chains. I like old fucking ism though, man. I think he's hilarious. Yeah, man, back to the life insurance thing, right? I mean, we see the stuff, right? We can't act like we don't see it. This one gets killed, this one gets shot, this one gets murdered, and the next thing you see is a damn GoFundMe. And what that tells me is these are a group of people who haven't planned. If you're going to GoFundMe because your son was murdered, you are a person who has not planned. All right. If you're going to GoFundMe because mom got sick and died, you are a group of people who has not planned. I know it's tough thinking about death because when we doing this life insurance thing, I've been talking about it all night. We're thinking about death, right? We're thinking about death. And I guess we don't want to.
X, why can't we have GoFundMe? Death. GoFundMe is an insurance also. It is.
Oh, of course. Of course. That's everybody's insurance policy. Good old GoFundMe, and it's up 3 months still after the person's already died. But yeah, go ahead, brother Freeman.
No, I was just gonna say I'm doing my GoFundMe today.
Yeah.
Before I got to put it online.
Yeah.
You gotta plan ahead.
Yeah, I'll put it up today and I'll talk about my funeral expenses. So by the time I die, it should be plenty of money in there.
And we can also make sure some single mothers get the money also. So that way they can also be taken care of. Thanks to X. Yeah. Please set up that trust fund.
Yeah, well, these are usually some of the people who utilizes GoFundMe shit, right? Because the son and he done been murdered, or the daughter been murdered, or the kid's been shot, or something like that, this is kind of who you see, doing
But they
these
went back to
GoFundMe things.
Jesus. They went back to Jesus. Mama had a funeral. We got T-shirts and fried fish and French fries, and had a good church service. And we also have a GoFundMe for $20,000. And
Yes.
we're still back in the hood.
And yeah, and it's still up, and it's still up 3 months after the incident. That's what I don't get. Like, I mean, the incident happened 3 months ago. Why is there still a GoFundMe up? Y'all haven't had the funeral yet? It's been 3 months.
We're still grieving.
Is the body still laying in the medical examiner's office 3 months later?
We're still grieving.
And this is the trick. I'm going to tell y'all something, because I know in certain places the state will bury murder victims. If there's somebody who's been murdered, the state will pay for a funeral. And I don't mean, just throwing someone's into a potter's field somewhere. Like, they will actually play. I know they do it in New York City. All right. In New York City, if you're a victim of a murder, they have this special fund that will pay for a funeral for you. Right. And, cremate you or bury you wherever you want to be buried. So I think a lot of these people, especially these people who are getting killed in the inner cities, what they're doing is they're going ahead and they're getting those funds from the city and then putting up the damn GoFundMe. Because, see, the funeral was paid for like a week after the person died. So these next 3 months, we just going to have y'all give us money, but we're going to do it under the guise of to cover funeral expenses, even though the funeral happened 3 months ago. See how that works?
It's a hustle. That's not a bad hustle.
Yes. Because that body, Brother Freeman, that body ain't still laying in the medical examiner's refrigerator 3 months later.
Mm-mm. Well, if people are still donating, why would they close it?
How dare you
come on,
say
man.
my mama?
Come on. That body been in the ground. Here it is 3 months later. They still got to GoFundMe up. Oh, seeking 50,000. Like, wait a minute. This dude was buried like 2 months ago.
Grandmama need to be buried with a Birkin, apparently.
Yeah.
I told you that. You said you weren't saying my mama tonight. You said you weren't saying my mama.
I mean, this stuff is important, man. And the reason why I'm talking about it tonight is because, I'm talking about it because this is the What About series. And we talk about the shit, we kind of unleash some of the secrets, inside of Black society. And I think this life insurance thing, or the lack thereof, is a secret that we've been keeping for a very long time. Do y'all remember? Are y'all old enough to remember when your grandmother, there used to be actually an insurance man who used to come around, and your grandmother would give him like, I don't know, $5 or $6 a month, and he'd have her sign some papers, so even back then, our grandmothers understood the concept of, having some type of insurance. They understood that concept. And I think we've kind of, we've jumped over it. All right. I think we've jumped over it and we don't think about it anymore.
Yep.
Everything is static, right? Life insurance never crosses your mind, right? Because you dying never crosses your mind. So why would life insurance cross your mind? Life insurance for your children never crosses your mind. Why? Because you never think about them dying, even though you live in some ran down ass goddamn neighborhood where 25 people get shot every Saturday. You're just not thinking that, one of the people could be you or somebody in your house, right? It could never be you or somebody in your house. So there is that. All right. There is that. But we gotta become more conscious about this stuff, man. I mean, because a decent life insurance policy, man, you can get a decent one for like $50 a month. All right. $50 a month, you can get a decent life insurance policy. When your black ass die, your people will be taken care of. I joke with my kids and my wife because my life insurance policy is $150,000. But if I get killed while working, it's $500,000. And I say all the time, I know y'all don't want me to die of natural causes. Y'all want me to fall off a roof. Y'all want me to get ran over by a skid steer, goddamn it, because that's more money. You know, I joke with them all the time about that. But you don't even need that much. I mean, I've had my life insurance policy since I was about 40. All right. I mean, I've had it so long now, we probably could borrow money against it if we wanted to. But at least have enough life insurance that, number one, you can be buried. Number two, if you have children or a wife, that they won't go in the hole because your income is now non-existent, right? And I say again, you know, if you're a person that live by yourself, you don't have no children, you don't have no wife, even with that, you probably should have a trust. So people will know where your stuff is going. All right. Where your house is going, where your money is going, where your cars are going, where your, 60-inch TV is going. I mean, you should at least have some type of trust, even if you don't have children, even if you don't have, if you don't have a wife, especially if you got a little something. All right. You may not necessarily need a life insurance per se, but you probably do need a trust. But if you have a family, God damn it, you need life insurance. You need life insurance, and you probably need a trust too.
Yeah, I think everybody does, really. I mean, back in the day, it was more a culture of responsibility. Yeah, you have life insurance because you're gonna die and you're gonna prepare for it. Now it's just like the consumerism and whatnot. That culture of responsibility and planning for the future just doesn't exist. But if even when I didn't have kids, all my nieces and nephews were in there for their little portion should something have happened to me. And if you got a regular 401k job, you can probably get double or triple your income in life insurance for pennies, should anything happen. I mean, my life insurance is through my job right now, and it's twice my income. And it's, it's only a few bucks. It's a pittance, if you have a corporate job. So you definitely got to do that, and you got to get a trust. And that's the thing, T.P.O.T, you have to have something to put in the trust. That's why if you got a job, get a house. Ain't no reason for a man with a full-time job to not have a home. Just isn't. So, and even if you're young and single, right? Get roommates. And then your next house you get to be a duplex. Until you get a family. You can do that. By the time you start in your 20s, by the time you're 35, you could have 10, 12 doors.
Yeah.
And then who you marry is going to be a lot different. Trust me. So
exactly. Ownership is important, man. I mean, we don't think about it, man, because we live in this damn world of, number one, instant gratification, and number two, I'm going to party like it's 1999 today, and if I wake up tomorrow, I'm going to do the same thing tomorrow. And I talked about it early, man. How much money do you spend a month on weed, on cigarettes, on cigars, on beer, on liquor, on Jordans, on all this crap? I bet you it's the amount for a life insurance policy is infinitesimal compared to how much money you spend a month on your vices, right? Your liquor, your beer, your weed, your cigarettes, your cigars, your whatever you do, you probably run through about $1,000 a month on that shit.
Oh, easily.
You probably spend like $1,000 a month on bullshit, on cigars. I know I fuck up a lot of money on cigars, so I'm including myself in there too, folks. You buy cigars and cigarettes, and you buy liquor and shit. You buy a big old bag of weed. You got all this shit that you spend $1,000 on a month easily, if not more. All you got to do is cut back on the weed, cut back on the cigarettes, cut back on the beer and the liquor, and pay that $50 a month for your life insurance, especially if you got a wife and kids. All right. You got kids and shit, man, you need to have a goddamn insurance policy so they ain't scraping and scrapping to bury your ass. All right. They don't got to go on a GoFundMe, and have it up there for 4 months after your ass already dead. All right. You leave them something so at the very least your final expenses can be covered, man. That's what it's all about. How can we not think about this as a people? How can we not think about this, man? How?
I don't know. And just we need to promote it, man. We need our own media and we need our own promotion.
Yes, man.
You have to develop the culture by asking the question. When you're in a barbershop, is you don't own a house? Why not?
Yeah.
Is it that $5,000 paint job you got on that 86 Regal? Is that it?
Yeah, the 86 Regal.
Is it
with
that
$20,000 worth of chrome on it?
Exactly. You got 30-inch 100 spokes rims on a car that's worth $500. Maybe you should do something different with that.
Yeah.
Stop living at your Annie house and buy one.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it seems like we're more concerned with the look of having as opposed to having. We're more concerned with looking like, we have this and we have that, which it would be way better to just have it. Just have it. Why look like you have it? Just have it. I mean, come on, man. I mean, we have to stop. We have to stop being involved in instant gratification, for one, and we have to start thinking about more tangible, valuable things, especially when we have people that depend on us. I think there's when it comes to black men, the majority, I think it's like 52-53% of black men don't have children. So they're probably not thinking about leaving anything behind. And that would be understandable. You don't have kids, you don't have wife. I guess you just gonna the day you die, you're just gonna be laying in your bed with all your money on the bed and just die right in the middle of it. I get it. But if you're a person who has these things, you're a person who has, children, a wife, you have a house, you got a business, you got insurance, you got cars, you got all kinds of shit going on, life insurance. Because I regret not having life insurance early. I didn't get my first life insurance policy until I was 40. Thankfully, nothing happened in the meantime, because when I was 40, I was still a working stiff. All right. I didn't start my business until I was 44, I think, or 43 when I started it. Yeah, I was like, so I was still a working stiff when I was 44. So anything could have happened and I would have been dead, and my wife and everybody else would have been left with the expenses. Like, I just don't want to do that to my people. All right. I'm gonna die. At least I can die knowing that I'm not leaving a bunch of burden, because I've seen it happen to so many people, man, where the parents die and come to find out the house was damn near about to be foreclosed. Come to find out the car they had about to be repoed. Come to find out they owe this amount of money to this person, this amount of money to that person, and they just died with no insurance policy and left their children to eat it, man. Left their children to eat that shit. And I just think that's like totally wrong. And as a parent, you should be more responsible than that. That's just what I think. That's what I believe. Yeah. I don't want to die and leave my people all this dead and all this kind of shit. I mean, that's just not what I want to do, because guess what? My parents didn't do it to us, man. They didn't do it to us. Yeah. My mom and dad died. They both had life insurance policies. All right. Shit, we was able to keep the house, keep the house that they had, to pay for their funeral and all that kind of shit. We didn't have to go to a GoFundMe. All right. We didn't have to take up a GoFundMe to make sure they keep the house, to make sure my mom's kept the house after my father died. I didn't have to do any of that, man, because, when he died, he had a decent life insurance policy. So all that shit was covered with quite a bit of money to spare, shit. That could be a come up.
Yeah.
If you poor, that's your kid's come up. At least when you die, at least when you die, you can know that you die, not leaving them poor. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, if you had that done to you, don't do it to your kids.
Yeah.
Have the culture of responsibility. The guys that are doing it are the cool guys. The guys that aren't, the guys that want to pretend to be something that they are not and have no assets, you're not the cool guys. You're just not. You know, that's what the Manosphere meetup is about, is the cool guys are going to be there. The guys with fruit on the tree are going to be there. That's why Theo put it out, and his goal is 100 black men making $100,000. That is going to move the needle, and that way you can have something. You know, you can be the man that your great grandchildren still remember. You understand? You can be the man that the painting of you and your wife is in your great grandson's home. You can do that. You know, you just have to make different decisions. You know, just I showed you shared earlier. Go to Vine City and get that cheap house and bust your ass and make it something. So then you can sell it for 400 and some odd thousand and put 200 grand in your pocket. You know, and then what can you do with that? Then you get some apartments. Because I mean, that land, the land that the apartments were on, that it took me, 2 years to get through, that's a big piece of property. So that can be, who knows? I mean, there's another place up the street that's approved for 11 apartments, and it's a sliver. So this lot has got to be at least 3 to 4 times that. So we're looking 30, 40 units maybe, and it's got business frontage. So that's a game changer. That is true generational wealth. So just get off the pot, y'all, and tell your relatives who haven't to do so. Like, you're not in the cool kids club. Everybody in the family got a house except you, right? Yeah. Or half the family got a house except y'all, and you got a full-time job and doing what? No, there aren't any excuses, and there are too many resources.
Exactly. You know? Exactly, man. We got to stop thinking like freaking children, man. And yeah, brother Coffee. Also, we must mention the brothers and sisters arguing over the will. Yes, I know. And see, that's the thing, right? With wills and probates, they actually can be challenged. They're easily challenged, right? There is that. You know, I seen it. I saw it in my own family. When because my dad died first, right? And when my mom died, it was kind of the same thing. Because people, they want to fight, over property, they want to fight over houses, land, whatever money's left, especially if it's a lot of you, especially if it's quite a handful of you left behind after the person dies. You're gonna have people wanting to, people thinking they deserve more than the next person. People fighting over the houses, people fighting over the property, people fighting over the jewelry box, people fighting. I mean, because wherever there's a will, there's relatives. All right. Let me say that again. Wherever there's a will, there is relatives. All right. So you're always going to be kind of dealing with that, especially if you got people who may or may not be on the will that don't have shit. Those are the people who are going to always try to come in, and they don't want just their part. They want their part and everybody else's part too. I went through that shit in my own family. All right. I went through that very same thing. Motherfuckers trying to get their hands on shit that they ain't even deserving, and they fighting over the shit and all this kind of nonsense. And I walked away from that shit, man. I literally walked away from that shit because I had got myself involved with it. And so much shit had happened over a course of time. I was like, you know what, man? Fuck this shit, man. Y'all have that shit. Y'all keep it. Choke on it. Choke on it, you motherfuckers. Yeah. I mean,
and I'm sure the people that are doing that are choking on it, or they're throwing it away,
Yeah.
That's why you put in a trust and keep it out the will. The will is for the small. The will is for the small stuff. Who gets your dishes? The stuff that's in the house, not the house itself.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a trust is just better. That's a better option for you. You know, especially if you got a little bit of shit, man. If you got a little something, it's probably better. You know, because like I said, man, a lot of shit that was due to me, man, I didn't even get because I didn't even want to fucking be in there just fighting the wheel and all some kind of bullshit, man. I walked away from that shit, man. I walked away from it. I had myself involved with it for a little while. And after a while, I was like, you know what, man, fuck this. You know, I ain't fighting with you Negroes over some fucking property. And man, get out of here. Keep it. Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
But hey, I appreciate the time, T.P.O.T. I got to get out of here.
Absolutely, man. Always, man. You're always welcome on the T.P.O.T YouTube page. You know, my brother.
All right. Peace out. Salute. Talk to y'all later.
Peace. Yeah, we're probably going to go ahead and just wrap it up. You know, we done went like 2.5 hours. I told myself I was only going to go 2, but, you know, the brothers start coming up. So, you know, I figured I'd go ahead and let the brothers come up here and, you know, kick the Willy Bobo, if you will. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and wrap up, man. But before we go, I got to hit y'all in the head with some T.P.O.T's programming notes. Yeah. Yeah, it's time for programming notes. So let me turn on my shit. Yeah, man. This week on the T.P.O.T YouTube page, we're not doing anything tomorrow, folks. I don't believe we're doing anything tomorrow. I kind of had something scheduled, but the person never hit me back, so we ain't doing shit tomorrow. But Saturday, brother Amiri will be here. And Amiri is going to be here, man, doing the Amiri Challenge right here on the T.P.O.T YouTube page. I know y'all remember brother Amiri from the Great Liberators, a member of the League, of course. Yeah, he'll be here, man, Saturday. And he gonna be up here, man, laying down his premise. You all know how we do the challenge. We let a brother come up and lay down their premise, and anybody who wants to come through and challenge them, you're welcome to come through. And Saturday, the one and only Amiri will be here from the Great Liberators, and he'll be throwing down, man, 8 p.m. Eastern time right here on the T.P.O.T YouTube page. You Negroes know that's Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So be here. All right. All right. But let me close out with this, man. You know, we all, well, many of us have family, right? We have someone who is related to us, I should say, right? Even if it's just you and your old mammy, right? Some of us have real families with the mother and the father and children, right? Some of us have real families. So we must consider, right? If you're a parent with children, you must consider those children, right? Because I know you're all happy and everything's going great today and you're posing for the photos, but in a heartbeat, man, it could be this. It ain't that often that people expect someone to die, right? Unless the person's like 90 years old and, you know, they're bedridden and, you know, of course, you expect them to die, right? But we don't expect someone in their 20s, 30s, 40s to die, even 50s. And we definitely don't expect one of our children to die, right? But not expecting them to die still isn't a good excuse for not having life insurance. Because anything can happen. That's why they call it insurance, right? That's why you have insurance on your cars, right? You're not running into freaking buildings every other freaking day, but you have insurance on your car or cars just in case you run into a building. You're not running into buildings every day, but just in case you do, You have insurance. And the same with life insurance, man. Of course, you're not thinking about dying. You're not thinking when you get up in the morning and take your shower and go to work that you may die today. Of course. Of course, you're not thinking that way. I don't think anybody who dies woke up that day saying, well, today's a good day to die. But just like that car insurance, man, that life insurance is there just in case something happens. You're not going to do it for yourself. Do it for your wife. If you're not going to do it for your wife, do it for your kids. Have insurance on yourself. Have a policy on them too. Because you never know. You never know. Especially if you have teenagers. Because you know they stupid as hell. Doing stupid shit. You never know. Something could happen. You know the old saying, better safe than sorry, right? Because times like this, man, are hard. I get it. It's hard when the family's sitting around like this. But it may not be as hard if the family have the peace of mind that even though you're gone, you're laying in this casket, that they'll be able to keep your house, keep your cars, keep your properties, keep the business, manage the business, give your ass a decent funeral. You ain't got no life insurance. They got to put you in a plastic bag and bury you in the backyard. They got to bury your ass in the backyard with some fucking hefty bags and shit. And hopefully bury you deep enough that they can't smell you once you start to rot. This is important, man. And this is something we have a tendency to overlook. That's why I talked about it tonight. I told y'all we're going to be talking about these secrets. Because these secrets need to come the hell out. We need to talk about some of this shit that we keep under wraps all the time, as if keeping it under wraps has helped anything or anyone. This is real stuff, man. Because no matter what you say, who you are, how much money you got, how great you are as a person, all of us going to end up in one of these. That's just the truth. All of us are going to end up in one of these damn pine boxes. So it's probably a good idea to prepare for it. It's probably a good idea to understand what it does. And it's probably a good idea to make your kids knowledgeable about it as well. So they can grow up understanding how important this is. That life insurance isn't just for old people. That's what people think, you got to be 65 to have life insurance. Absolutely not. I talked about it earlier, man. My dad, he had life insurance policies on me and my little sister up until the time we was 21. I think he had like that Gerber Life or something like that. He had insurance on us. Just in case one of our black asses had died, he would have got a check and he wouldn't have had to bury us in the backyard. He could have gave us a real funeral. And once we turned 21, we had the option of continuing it. Now, of course, I didn't because I was young and stupid and I thought I was never going to die. I was 21. I was never going to die. I was never going to be in my 50s like I am now. Yeah, I was never going to get this age. But by the time I was 40, I woke the hell up. Because I wanted my kids to have something when I was gone. My wife, my grandbabies. When I'm dead and gone, I want them to say, my Pop left me that. I was able to get this because Pop left it. Pop left us this house. He left us this money. He left us these stocks. He left us this. He left us that. And maybe, just maybe, man, my grandbabies will, they'll have a jump start. They'll have a jump start. Because I got grandbabies that are little. I got grandbabies that are big, and I got some that are little. My youngest ones are 4 and 2. Now, I'll probably be dead by the time they're 21. But at least when they're 21, they can say, damn, my grandpa, man, he left us X, Y, and Z. He left us this money. He left us this house. He left us this business. He left us something to jumpstart us. So we don't have to work as hard as he did to get it or have it. That's what it's all about. And I talk to my people about this stuff all the time. Shit, what I do, man, I don't do just for me. I do it for all the people that I love. Because, shit, if it was just me, shit, I could live off a fish head and a grain of rice, as my old man used to say. I don't need all this shit. You think I need all this fucking house and the bullshit and all these cars and shit? I don't need all this shit. I don't. But I have people here that need it. I got people I'm responsible for that need all this shit. All right? I'll just do what I do just for me, man. I never have. I do it for all the people I love. I tell my sons and daughters this. I don't have to tell my wife. She know it. She been around me 23 years. But I tell my sons and daughters. I tell my grandbabies. What I do, I just don't do for me. I do it for all of us. All of us are going to benefit from this. Even if my black ass don't get to see it. That's what's important. I don't need to see it. I just need to go to my grave knowing that it's happening. That's good enough for me. I'm just saying. But yeah, man, at some point, man, we gotta think bigger. We gotta think better. We gotta think bigger. We gotta think better. That's all it is to it, man. That's all it is to it. And we gotta stop keeping a secret about this shit here. This is something we need. All of us. Especially those of us who have families, children. I'm getting tired of seeing fucking GoFundMes for people who done been killed. Because what that tells me, you didn't have life insurance on that boy. You didn't have life insurance on that girl. Which means you don't have life insurance for yourself. If your ass died, they got to take out a GoFundMe. Obviously. Because they got killed, you taking out one. So, something happened to you, they going to have to take out a GoFundMe themselves. Because if you ain't got no life insurance on them, I'm pretty sure you don't have any on yourself. But that's something to think about. Like we said earlier, you're out there buying all this bullshit. You're spending all this money on weed, shoes, hair, clothes, jewelry, liquor, clubbing, beer. You can't subtract $50, $60 out of all that stuff. and get you a decent life insurance policy for yourself, for your children, for your old mammy who lived with you. All the money we spend billions of dollars on cigarettes, billions of dollars on alcohol and beer, billions of dollars on technology, billions of dollars on clothes, shoes, nonsense. But we can't scrape up $50, $60 a month to pay for a decent life insurance policy. I find that hard to believe. I mean, we insure everything else, right? We insure our car. We insure our houses, right? We insure our damn cell phone. You buy that phone, I bet you put insurance on that, right? Just in case that sucker crack, boy, you want to be able to get a new one. We put insurance on things like that. We put insurance on the shit we buy out of the store. So what about insuring the lives? What about insuring the lives? Lives we care about, the lives around us, the life that everyone depends on. I know. I mean, I'm somebody that everybody depends on. All right. Something happens to me, it leaves a hole in a lot of shit. Especially when you're talking about financially, it leaves a big gap. I'd be one selfish ass dude to not have a policy on me, knowing that. And you're a selfish ass person too. If your income takes care of the whole house and pays for everything, why your ass ain't got a life insurance policy? I know why, because you're black ass selfish and you ain't thinking about nobody. Knowing that if your ass die, that's going to cause the family to kind of collapse into a financial fucking rut because you're gone. You're gone. So all that money you make, that stops. That stops, doesn't? It stops, doesn't it? So at the very least, you should be thinking about that. Especially when you know your money is the money that makes the house run. Don't go to your grave, man, leaving your wife in dire straits, your kids in dire straits. They got to scrape and scrap to bury your ass. You got to scrape and scrap to keep your house, might lose it. Your cars, your whatever you got. Do the right thing, man. Insure your folks. Insure yourself. Insure the lives. Trust me. It'll be worth it. It will be worth it in the long run. All right, Negroes. All right. So we're going to go ahead, man, and get up out of here. Like I said, man, we ain't going to be streaming for the next few days. We'll stream again Saturday night. Like I said, just a reminder, brother Amiri will be here, and he'll be throwing down on the Amiri Challenge, man. So those of you who are familiar with brother Amiri, if you wish to come up here and challenge him Saturday night, man, he'll be here 8 p.m. Eastern time right here on the T.P.O.T. YouTube page. Yeah, man, I'm going to take the next couple of days off, man. I ain't streaming. You know, I've been streaming like 3 times a week. You know, I need to fall back. And but I'll be back Saturday, man. Brother Mary B here throwing down. And also, if you have something that you want to say, what about to, hit me up. The email is prophetofthought@yahoo.com. That's prophetofthought, one word, no caps, @yahoo.com. If you have something that you want to say, what about this? Hit me up, man. I'll bring you on, man. We'll talk about it. I promise. All right. All right. So, I appreciate everybody coming out tonight, man. Hey, you could have been anywhere tonight, man. On a Thursday night, man, you decided to be here. It is appreciated. Shout out to all the brothers, man. Brother Ism, Brother Friedman Journal, Brother BMT, and also Brother Big Mac, the trucker, for coming through, man, and giving us some of his life insurance expertise. I appreciate all you brothers, man, for coming through tonight, man. It is appreciated, man, as always. So, with that, I will leave you good folk with 3 words, you know, like I always do. Open your mind. Peace, folks. What about this?
What about that? What about that? What about that? What about that? What about this? What about this? What about this?
What about that? About that? What about this?
What about that? What about that? What about that? What about that? What about this? What about this? What about this?
What about that? What about this?
What about that? What about that? What about that? What about that? What about this? What about this? What about this?
What about that? What about this?
What about that? What about that? What about that? What about that? What about this? What about this? What about this?
What about this?
What about that? What about
What
that?
about
What about
that?
that? What about that? What about that?
Only from T.P.O.T. Media. Open your minds.